off to slow starts, each looking for a little traction as they hope to pick up some wins here in April. It's the Boston Red Sox taking on the Minnesota Twins. David Ortiz, the hottest hitter in the American League right now. The Twins hoping that Justin Morneau will reclaim his status as one of the top sluggers in the game. And we welcome you to Target Field. Dick Bramer, joined by Tom Kelly, sitting in for Bert Blyleven for the next couple of nights. And the Twins do hope to rebound after a tough loss last night. They'll try to do it against one of the better right-handers in the league.
Yeah, absolutely, Richard. Beckett is number one, just like Lester last night. Fastball 93, 94. He's got that little cutter about 90. Then he goes to that slower curve, 73, 74 miles per hour. This guy's got three really good pitches, and he can also throw that changeup at you. So he's very, very dangerous.
Well, the Twins with Francisco Liriano off to an ineffective start. Scott Baker done for the year. They're really going to count on Nick Blackburn.
Yeah, Blackie needs to keep the ball down. We all know this. He's got to throw that sinker down, down, down and in. Breaking ball away. Hit the black. No pun intended, but that's what he needs to do. And we'll know soon. He's keeping the ball down. He's going to have a good night.
I had to leave his last start, had a start skip because of a tight shoulder. He says everything is loose. We'll hope that is the case here tonight. And we'll hope that the Twins will continue a pattern where they have found the way to get some of the double plays turned in the middle of the infield that weren't turned the first week of the season.
Boy, we sure were on fire last night. The infielders did just a terrific job, especially the two fellas up the middle. Jamie Carroll last night, superlative night, put on a clinic. Trevor Plouffe right there with him. It takes two to tango. Well, those two got it done last night for sure.
And the Twins hope to get it done, get in the win column here tonight as they hope to still win this series against the Boston Red Sox. It is Twitter Tuesday, and coming up next, one of you viewers will have a question answered by Twins manager Ron Gardenhire.
Sports North is brought to you by your local Northland Ford dealers. Visit your local Northland Ford dealer or go to northlandford.com. By Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. And by Budweiser, official beer of the thirst inning. Great times are on deck. Grab some Buds.
A beautiful night for baseball in downtown Minneapolis here at Target Field. The Twins getting set for game number 2 against the Boston Red Sox. And it's Twitter Tuesday throughout the baseball season. Every Tuesday home game will be Twitter Tuesday at 11 a.m. You follow us at Fox Sports North or follow the Twins. They'll announce who that special guest will be. And then throughout the day, you can send your questions with the hashtag AskATwin. And we will pick out 3 different fans to be our special guest and interview Ron Gardenhire via those Twitter questions. Today's special guest was the manager, Ron Gardenhire. Gardy, your son recently said that he knows right away when you're going to get tossed out of a baseball game. Do you usually know when you walk up those stairs to talk to an umpire that you're going to get tossed?
No, I don't. And I'm going to kick my son out of the house now for thinking that he knows. So, you know what? You go out there, sometimes you're a little fired up and you got a feeling, but you don't know until you get out there and you get a response from the umpire. And if it's not the response you're looking for, then maybe you get a little more fired up. But there's a few times I've been out there going, I'm not going to make it through this one, but not all the time. So my son's wrong.
First pitch right around the corner. We also mic'd up Denard Span today, and here's a sample during batting practice this afternoon.
Saw Rob Euclid yesterday. You know, he's struggling a little bit. Kind of hurt his feelings a little bit. It's part of the game, man. I'm pretty sure he's going to rob me before the end of the season, so he might rob me tonight, so.
Field, hoping to even the series at a game apiece. They were done in by Cody Ross yesterday. Hit the game-tying home run. Made it 5 apiece, and then Ross became one of just, I believe, the 5th right-handed batter in this ballpark to hit an opposite field home run. The Menards batting order for Bobby Valentine and the Red Sox. Mike Aviles leading things off. Ryan Sweeney hitting second. Dustin Pedroia, Adrian Gonzalez, David Ortiz, Kevin Youkilis, Cody Ross, Marlon Byrd, and Kelly Shopping in there because he absolutely owns Nick Blackburn. And we will be watching very closely how Nick Blackburn fares here today, both in terms of his effectiveness and physically how he does.
His health is the name of the game here, Richard. And again, if Blackie's healthy, then he's going to have a good night. And but I think we're all keeping our fingers a little bit crossed here to make sure that that's the case.
First pitch over for a strike. He last pitched on this mound a week and a half ago against the Texas Rangers and left the game because of tightness on the back of his right shoulder.
That's the pitch we're looking for right there. That sinker down and in. And that's just where Blackie needs to throw the ball. And then he'll go work both sides of the plate, use his fastball towards the outside, his breaking ball towards the outside, and try to paint the black on the outside. And that's his bread and butter. So that's a good start so far.
Breaking pitch to the gap in left center.
Spoke too soon, because that was right down the middle.
That'll go all the way to the wall. Span will retrieve it, and Aviles stands at second with a leadoff double.
Dick, you might want to come over here and zip my mouth shut. We were just bragging a little bit, and this one Blackie leaves right down the center of Broadway, and I'm sure he didn't want to throw it there, but that's where it ended.
So a leadoff double, and that'll get Ryan Sweeney to the plate.
Sweeney's job, as we all know, is to try to advance the runner by hitting the ball towards the middle of the diamond or to the right side. Fly ball, center field, right field, that all works. His job is to get the runner over for Pedroia, who's up next.
And a strike that covers the inside corner.
As we talked about yesterday, Richard, and in that infamous inning where we didn't get the runner in from third with no outs, it's the same thing here. It's you have to get a good pitch to hit, be a little patient, zero in on something that you can handle, and get the job done. There it is.
And there's a base hit to center. Aviles around third, and he'll score. And as they did last night in the first inning, the Red Sox get the first run of the game.
I think this pitch is down some, but I think it's over the center of the plate. As we all know, the left-hand hitters like the ball down a little bit, and I think this is right where Bert would say, right in the left-hander's wheelhouse.
Again, right down the middle, and hit sharply for an RBI single. Now Pedroia. Blackburn's thrown 5 pitches, all strikes, but 2 of them ended up in the outfield grass. Down and away, ball 1.
Blackie's pretty quick to home, so you usually don't have to worry about too much base stealing and the running game. And these are the kind of situations, if I'm the manager, I'm not going to get involved. I'm going to stay out of the way and let my hitters take over. They've done well with the first 2 guys, so I always try to stay out of the way.
2-0.
This is sometimes the danger that the pitchers run into. They come out and they give up a couple hits right away, so now they're going to try to make the ball do a little bit more, fall behind in the count. As you spoke about, Dick, he threw a lot of strikes, and now we're getting out of the zone a little bit. There we go.
2-1.
90 miles per hour on the fastball. It's not a bad pitch. The ball was down. Pedroia, as we know, likes the ball up a little bit towards the inside part. See if Blackie can keep it away from him.
Bounce to the right side. Plouffe to Carroll, and no chance to double up Pedroia, but they get the lead runner. 1 down.
It's a nice pitch right there.
Let's check out the Twins in the field. In the outfield, Willingham back and left. Span in center, Parmalee in right. Valencia at third. Carroll and Plouffe up the middle. They did an outstanding job up the middle last night. Maurer gets first base with Domet doing the catching. Justin Morneau is the designated hitter. So 1 gone, 1 on, and here's Adrian Gonzalez. And Gonzalez takes it down and in, ball 1.
For the fans at home that are keeping track of our pitchers and how they deliver the ball to home plate when they're holding the runners on, I got Blackie in 1.23, which is under that 1.3 mark, which the catchers do appreciate. They gives them a real good chance to throw the runner out.
Bounce to the right side, and it'll bleed through. Pedroia was off on the pitch, so he'll go to third base. 3rd hit of the inning with Gonzalez sending a 5-hopper through the right side of the infield.
It's classified as one of those seeing eye hits that I wish I would have hit when I was playing, because they certainly do count. And with the first baseman holding the runner on it, it certainly opens up the hole over there. And Gonzalez, a professional hitter as he is, he hooked one into the hole. And obviously the Red Sox are now set up 1st and 3rd. And 1 out. Another good opportunity here for David Ortiz to get himself an RBI.
leading the league in hitting at 441. A couple of hits last night, and he had one taken away, and the great stop behind the second base bag by Jamie Carroll.
Yeah, David had a good night swinging the bat last night. There's no question.
And that drifts outside, ball one. There are 4 hitters in the American League hitting 400 or better, and the Red Sox have 2 of them. Sweeney came into the game hitting 400. He's already gotten a base hit. Ortiz at 441, Derek Jeter 411, and Josh Hamilton 408.
It's not a crooked number.
Hamilton off to a great year.
Just
great start.
You know, really emphasizes what pitching is or means to your club. If you don't pitch well, you got 2 400 hitters,
right? And
you still have a losing record. It doesn't make much sense. So the bottom line is you have to pitch. If you don't pitch, you're not going to win.
2-1 to Ortiz.
We always talk about Dick winning, that game 8-7 or 9-8. You win a few here and there, but for the most part, over the big piece of the season, you have to certainly pitch well and be successful on the mound. Keep the bullpen in order if you're going to have any kind of success in the long run.
And now down low, 3-1 with Youkilis on deck.
Is that the change up there?
Looked like it was
off speed or something.
Down in the dirt. Yep.
Yeah, Joe did a good job of keeping the ball in front of him.
3-1 with Blackburn on the ropes here in the first inning.
Gonzalez is not much of a threat to run, but we're getting close to that point here.
And another base hit. Pedroia will come in from third, and it's 2-0.
David sure did a nice job of just stroking this ball nicely. It's almost like you're going to take what the pitcher's going to give you. Here's the pitch down and away, and David just go ahead and strokes it on out to left field. Very nice one.
He certainly has changed as a hitter from when he was a Twin.
Yeah.
You try to pull that.
Yeah, he was pull. And we encouraged him loudly to suggested that he try to hit some balls to left field just like that.
You wonder whether
you don't want to see it tonight.
Right. You wonder whether he would have developed as a hitter as he has if he had not landed at Fenway Park. I mean,
that's true.
If he signs his deal with the Yankees and he tries to have a career with them after,
more pull.
Right.
And then he learned how to use the Green Monster. That's an excellent point, and I think you're absolutely correct. It certainly helped him as a hitter, and it certainly put a lot of cha-ching in the pocket.
Yes, it did. Well, here's Youkilis with the score already 2-0. Last night, the Red Sox scored 3 early runs. Twins came back to take a lead. So Blackburn trying to smooth over some rough edges here in the first inning. And there's ball one.
Oh, that's a nice pitch. I was hoping the umpire would give us that one. I think we're going to need that one if we're going to be successful here tonight. The ball down and in. Youkilis needs to hit that 5-4-3, 6-4-3. One of those two. We'll take one of those two.
There's a strike that covers the corner.
Adrian Johnson's our home plate umpire tonight. You see the double plays on our graphic. Blackie's certainly that kind of guy that gets the ground balls. That sinker working. Oh, there's a good one.
It gets a tapper. Foul 1 and 2.
Almost hit the barking dogs. I believe it got the toes of
Youkilis.
Yeah, I believe so. Or took a good peek at him. One or the other.
1 and 2. And slice to right field, and that'll die in front of Parmelee. And the bases will be loaded. So 5 of the first 6 batters get base hits against Blackburn.
You notice a little pattern here, Dick. It looks like the Red Sox have decided to maybe take a few of these the other way or back up the middle.
With 2
we
strikes.
saw the first hitter, of course, Aviles drove it to left center. Sweeney right up the middle. Pedroia went to the right side with his ground ball. Ortiz hit the ball to left field. Now Youkilis goes to right. So it looks like they're trying to take away the sinker a little bit. and make Blackie change his program some, and that's not good. We still need the ground ball. We're one pitch away of getting out of this.
Cody Ross, the batter. Slow breaking ball left up high. Ross hit 2 home runs. I don't think anyone in uniform was surprised about the first one. He's a pull hitter, but everybody was shocked that he hit an opposite field home run to end up winning the ball game.
I know I was. I think everybody that saw it was.
Off the plate, 2-0.
These pitches aren't missing by too much here. Blackie's going to have to stay with it and really work to get through this. Got to give the Red Sox a little credit here by taking some of these pitches. They're getting called in their favor, and that's what's a little troublesome.
Foul back 2-1. Ross with a 2-run home run to tie it at 5, and then the game winner making it 6-5.
Inside part of the plate, and he tattooed it. And then Caps, Matt went down and away from him, and he drove it to right. So I guess we have to tip our cap to him and say job well done, but we don't like to do that, but I guess we're going to have to. That was impressive. Impressive hitting.
The very edge of the limestone facing, and then skipped up into the seats. Slow breaking ball, and Ross waves at it to even the count.
Well, Rick Anderson talked about it a little bit this afternoon, and about trying to throw this fellow a few more breaking balls and see how he reacts to them. Last night they hardly threw any breaking balls to him, and we paid the price, and so we're going to change the program a little bit tonight and see what happens. I would suspect this would be another one. This is a good spot now for Dumas. He's got to keep the ball in front of him and understand he's got to keep it in front of him, and he does. Ryan's a veteran catcher. He's been behind the plate. Blackie has to have the confidence to throw the breaking ball here, and he's got to throw it towards the dirt.
Be the 25th pitch for Blackburn. And Dolman found it eventually. It rolled off his shin guards onto the grass, and now it's a full count.
We got a little lucky there that the Gonzalez is running from third, and I don't think I don't think he's the best base runner we've ever seen. He's an outstanding hitter, we know that, but a good base runner might have made a decent attempt at that one.
Blackburn in search of a quality strike here. And that's nubbed up the line. Lauer to the bag for the second out, and Gonzalez comes in. It's 3-0.
There's not much Joe could have done on that. I'm sure if he had the opportunity, he would like to try to throw it home, but the ball was hit right off the end of the bat. It was a real nice pitch by Blackie, and unfortunately for us, he just hit it so softly that Joe's only recourse was to tag the base at first. Kind of play we practice in spring training a lot. Richard, you've seen it. We do the drills over there on field 6 that we work on that play quite a bit, and Joe certainly has gone through that drill, but he just didn't have a chance to execute on that one. Had to take what they gave.
Second and third, 2 down. Here's Marlon Byrd. Bounced to Valencia.
Good sinker.
Throws on the run, inning over.
Very nice.
Good inning for the Red Sox. They get 5 hits and 3 runs.
started doing this last year. I just started feeling good in the game. So, infield back. Infield in.
I've been able to see that the Denard Span's batting practice bat is actually a Delman Young bat.
That's heavier than, obviously, than what he's accustomed to using during the course of the game.
Menard's batting order for the Twins. Span will lead things off. Jamie Carroll, Joe Mauer, Josh Willingham, Justin Morneau, Ryan Domet, Danny Valencia, Chris Parmalee, and Trevor Bluth. All facing right-hander Josh Beckett, who had a clinker in his first start, but he's pitched pretty well since then.
He's a real deal. There's no question about it. And what I like about him, I think he's a real tough guy, and he's not afraid to throw one inside at you either. So you can't get too comfortable in there. And the guy throws hard, got a nice slider, nice little cutter, slow curve. He's got all the pitches to throw, and he's very capable of sticking it to you at any moment.
Down low, 2-0. He has given up a lot of home runs for less than 20 innings, 6 of them. Buchholz, the starter tomorrow, has given up 6 home runs in 17 innings. In fact, the Red Sox are usually like the Yankees. They hit a lot more home runs than they give up, but that's not been the case this year for Boston. They have, and this is with the Red Sox hitting 3 last night and giving up just 1. They've allowed 27 home runs and hit just 17. 2-1 to Span. Solidly to center. And Span drills a base hit to start the bottom of the first. Northland Ford defense for the Red Sox. They'd like to have Carl Crawford in left, but Cody Ross is out there now. They'd like to have Jacoby Ellsbury in center, but they just got Marlon Byrd. Ryan Sweeney in right. Gonzalez, Pedroia, Aviles, Youkilis, standard infield. And Shopping again doing the catching because he's hit Nick Blackburn well. So right away, Beckett goes into the stretch with Span at first and nobody out.
It's a nice line drive. Denard just stroked it right out to center field. If we paid attention in the short clip we had of Denard using the heavier bat in batting practice, and then he went through some situational things where the infield was back and he's going to try to hit that grounder, or he's going to the infield in, so we're going to try to hit it in the air. These are all little drills that the players do to try to prepare themselves for situational hitting, and so they get an opportunity comes up in the game. They sort of fresh in their mind and what they need to do and how they need to react. So again, these are all good drills that our young players out there, that aspiring ball players need to practice when they have the opportunity to work on their hitting and put themselves in different situations and see how they react and see if they can get the job done. But the big key is always, as Richard, as you know, and I know you told your son Eric numerous times, get a pitch you can handle and something you can hit and put in play with a little authority. So don't go chasing and trying to do too much, and let the pitcher come to you because he's the one that's in a little bit of a trouble. So again, make sure you keep yourself in the driver's seat.
Carroll takes a strike on the inside corner 0-2, and I think we saw just what you spoke of in the top half of this inning. The Red Sox hitters waited for Blackburn to get it over the middle of the plate. He obliged them and paid the price.
Yeah, he elevated the ball a little bit and got too many in the center part of the plate. And this is just knocking the rust off. He missed some time, and hopefully as we go along here, he can settle in a little bit better.
Bounce to the right side. And safe at first. Carroll beats the relay. The Red Sox get the lead runner with Pedroia feeding Aviles.
Pedroia did a good job. He got the first out. He had to go range too far to his left and then throw the ball back across his body, of course, to Aviles. And then Aviles sort of gave us the underarm flip over there, and Jamie beat it out.
Just barely.
Gary Cederstrom at first base, umpire, veteran umpire. I believe he is the crew chief.
Yep.
And my friend Fielding Culbris at third. And Mr. Blackman, isn't it Blackman at second?
Barksdale.
That Blackman's the draft choice for somebody coming up for. He's going to get picked, what, 4th or 5th, I guess, in the country? For all you football enthusiasts out there that are looking forward to the draft. He shouldn't be talking about that with Joe Mauer up. That's my apologies to Joe. He deserves a little more respect than that.
Looking for a base hit here. Mauer's average at 313. He's trying to at least get one back here in the bottom of the first. Long hold by Beckett, and Carroll looked like he might have been.
Beckett's quick to first,
Yeah.
there's no question. He's got a short little slide step that he uses. He's difficult to run on. This is the situation where we really would like to see Joe turn on one a little bit and drive one in the hole, sort of like what Gonzalez did for the Red Sox, so we can get a first and third with one out and have an opportunity to get a run in.
Down and away, 1-1.
This is the difference of hitting with nobody on and a man on. Richard, as you know, Joe gets some hits to left field and left center field. Now, if he hits one to left field here, Jamie's going to be almost forced to stop at second. So we're in a first and second situation instead of first and third, and obviously we have 9 more ways to score if we get to third. So this is one reason why you would like to see your hitter, whoever it is, be able to turn on the ball a little bit and drive one to right if possible. Now, you watch that last pitch, and we all did it. It's right down and on the outside corner, which makes it very difficult to pull. So, until you get 2 strikes on you, you sort of have to fight that one off and do the best you can. And obviously, if you get 2 strikes, you're just worried about putting it in play. But nothing for nothing. It'd be great if Joe could turn on one here, and I think we'd all like to see that.
20 hits on the season for Mauer, 4 extra base hits, 3 doubles and a home run. Outside, now 2-2.
Okay.
Beckett is pitching with a thumb injury. Long about the time Andrew Bailey was put on the shelf for 4 months with a thumb injury. Beckett had his looked at. They sent him down for a while in spring training. It's something that he will pitch with, but it's also something that may require surgery in the offseason. So as much as the Twins are looking at Blackburn hoping that his shoulder is okay, I'm a little pensive about Beckett and his thumb. 3-2.
Okay, I think we'll be running here. Absolutely. Without a question. I know we're down 3-0, but Joe's Gardy's got an awful lot of confidence, as we all do in Joe, and we're confident he's going to put the ball in play, and Jamie's going to have a chance to sneak down to second or even get to third now on any kind of base hit.
Carroll goes, and it's ball 4. He's got a very discerning eye at the plate. Mauer has drawn his 11th walk of the season. So an on-base percentage of over 400, and now the Twins get the tying run to the plate in Willingham.
We're one good swing away here, Richard, of getting it tied up. And we all know that Josh is going to be leaving the ball club for a few days, and him and his wife are expecting.
The plan is for Willingham to be back here and in the lineup on Saturday. He will miss tomorrow's game. Thursday's an off day, and they'll also miss Friday's game. On the outside corner.
I believe the new rules allow us to replace maternity leave. Is that what it's called? And Ben Revere's going to be coming back for a few days.
Since this is Twitter Tuesday, Ben Revere tweeted me that he's on the plane and
he's
on his way to the Twin Cities.
Good for him.
There's a breaking pitch over, and it's 0-2.
That's that little cutter that we talked about earlier, Richard, with about 90 miles per hour. And, that's what it is, right on the board, 90. It's a tough pitch. He cuts it about 2-3 inches and almost, I don't want to say it's like Mariano Rivera. I wouldn't do that to Mariano because I think he's the greatest. But it's the same kind of idea pitch that Beckett tries to throw.
Slow breaking ball. They left it up high.
Talked about earlier, 74, 75, 76. And, that breaking ball there is just high enough where, Josh didn't swing. Boy, if he comes down just a little bit more with that, I think Josh is going to put a good swing on it.
1-2. Willingham leading the team with 12 runs batted in and 9 extra base hits. Moves up high, 2-2. And one thing we've seen, Tom, is He's being pitched differently because he's been so hot, and he's been willing to take walks too. He's picked up 8 walks on the season.
He's done a terrific job just right from day one, and I think right through spring training he worked very hard in the spring, and you could see he was going to be a gamer for us. And excuse me, he certainly turned out to be the real deal. Wow.
3-2 with Beckett just missing the outside corner.
We saw Mr. Adrian here not call too many pitches, and oh boy, you know, it just depends on who's umpiring on night to night, just what you're going to get. And so far it looks like it's going to be a long evening because he doesn't appear to be wanting to call any strikes.
Carroll at second, Mauer at first. They'll stay put here, won't they?
Yeah, Josh just has too many strikeouts. Uh-oh.
There they go. And it's ball 4. So Carroll and Mauer took off down by 3 runs, and Willingham took ball 4.
That's one thing about Gardy that I really respect, that he's not afraid to do things and not afraid to take some chances, and I wouldn't have never ran the runners there. But Gardy is a different manager, and he's much more aggressive, and he's playing the game, I'll say that. I guess that pitch is down.
Tough
down
pitch to take, my goodness. Oof. Here's Morneau with the bases loaded. Red Sox loaded the bases in their half of the inning, ended up scoring 3 runs. We'll see what the Twins can do with this opportunity.
They'll make the walks hurt.
Swing and a miss.
That's a nice sinking fastball from Beckett. That must be like a 2-seamer, Richard, that he holds it. It's still 88. That's too much for a change, I believe. But 2-seamer of some sort that goes down and away to the lefties. That was nasty.
Tapper foul, and it's quickly 0-2.
Justin's been a little more aggressive here with the pitches, and we saw where Josh took some of these closer pitches, and Justin a little bit different type hitter. He's going to swing the bat a little bit more, and just a couple of pitches that may be a touch out of the strike zone. That his job's to knock in runs, and that's what he's trying to do.
0-2 to Morneau.
1-2. I assume the way the catcher Shopik moved outside, that was supposed to be one of those backdoor sliders or cutters, and obviously got too much of the plate and was down. You see Mr. Beckett, he's going to try to keep the ball away from Justin, it looks like, so far in this at bat. I sort of doubt he'd try to come inside. There he is.
He came inside.
Justin just a touch late on it, put a good swing on it, just a touch late. He just gets that head of the bat there just a touch quicker. Wow. Boy, it's a nice swing. I'd like to take one swing like that in my career. Didn't happen.
1-2 to Morneau. Be the 24th pitch for Beckett. Hold back.
Quickly he went back outside. That's enough of that one. We tried that one inside. I don't think we're going to do that again. We saw some of that yesterday go on in the ball game, Richard, and we sort of shook our heads out a little bit where pitchers threw a few pitches that we thought were a little maybe silly at the time to throw, but those fellas are out there making a lot of money to throw the baseball, so we have to trust them.
And now they're back inside. Morneau taps it foul.
That's what you got to like about Beckett. He's a #1 guy, and he's not going to be intimidated, and he's going to come back in there. Here we go. He knows enough. You just can't use one side of the plate. You got to use both. Pitch to both sides.
Quite a battle here. He's been ahead of Morneau throughout, but a lot of 2-strike fouls. And Boston's 3-0 lead in jeopardy here in the first inning.
The idea is for the young people out there watching, and if you get the pitch, is to throw it over the plate and put it in play and give your fielders a chance to play and make some plays. We saw our guys yesterday. We didn't walk anybody, I believe, throughout the game, and we made some plays in the field with 2-3 double plays, whatever it was, and some exciting things happened for us during the course of the game with our defense, and we have to make Mr. Beckett pay here for these walks.
Check swing. Did he go? No.
Wow.
2-2.
It's our friend Fielding down there.
A very close check swing call.
Wow.
No?
Whoa. I think it just depends where you're at. We're in Minneapolis, so one for the home team. I think if that one was in Boston, I think he might have had the right arm up in the air.
2-2 to Morneau. Fouled back, and he waited a long time, and I think he finally got his pitch to hit.
Well, that was right down the middle, as you pointed out, Richard. At 93, and Beckett said, "Here we go."
Right.
These are, the kind of at bats that wear the pitcher down and get the pitcher out of the game after 5-6 innings. If we can continue this pace, Beckett's certainly capable of shutting that down. But that's the right idea here. See if we can wear him out. Wow.
Full count with Beckett just missing the inside corner.
We can go with Don Zimmer, way back to Don Zimmer when he managed the Cubs and called for the courage play. Bases loaded, one out.
Well, they ran
Everybody
him.
runs.
They ran him when they were first and second.
Oh, we're not going to run now. You got to have a lot of courage to run now.
Ball 4. What a battle by Morneau, and he'll get a run batted in on a bases loaded walk.
I don't know what that pitch was, Richard. It was almost like a little bit of a changeup or guide me over. That was awful, whatever it was. He certainly didn't get after it. Wow.
So Carroll comes in.
That's wearing you down. That was a tough at-bat by Justin. That was a professional at-bat against a professional pitcher, and I'd have to say, I know we got a walk and everything, but Beckett certainly can't be happy the way he threw that last pitch.
Here's Adrian Johnson. Now, some of the pitches through the Morneau at bat were very close. We'll see if anyone has any dialogue with the home plate umpire.
Keep moving along here. All right.
And Beckett doesn't so much as make eye contact with the home plate umpire as he comes out. Here's Ryan Doumit with the tying run at second. So the Red Sox got their 3 runs on 5 hits. The Twins got a leadoff single, and Beckett has issued walks to 3 straight batters.
Thank you very much.
Doumit picking up some runs batted in, 10 on the season. And that cutter got a swing and a foul, 1 strike. Getting ahead of batters hasn't been Beckett's problem. It's been finishing them off.
That's been true. We've been tough. We've been really tough with, some of our professional hitters, and Mauer and Josh Willingham and Justin, that really gave professional at-bats. That's what's fun about the game.
Swing and a miss. 0-2.
It's 2 nasty pitches right there. Just for the people that care about the defensive end of the game, our first baseman, Mr. Gonzalez, he's playing back. So if the ball gets hit to him, he's going to go for a double play to throw it to second and then hope to get back to first. Doumit not being the fastest runner. That's the way they've elected to go, and I think that's correct.
See what Doumit can do behind in the count. And Beckett just puts him away on 3 pitches.
Gas, come right at him, got after it. I think that's what that meeting with Bob McClure might have been, the pitching coach for the Red Sox. Maybe attack the strike zone just a touch better, get after it with the fastball some. That's a nice pitch.
Doumit got 3 fastballs. He may have made contact with all 3 of them, but 3 swings and misses, a strikeout, and here's Valencia.
How about one to right center? We watched batting practice today, and Danny hit some balls to right center, right field a little bit for us. And, I would certainly encourage one of those right now. It's sort of fun to watch.
Outside, ball 1. We were talking about the great right-handed hitters that you've seen managed against in many cases. You had Paul Molitor. He was good at hitting the ball to the right field. But guys like Manglio Ordonez and Edgar Martinez, they made as much money to right field as they did to left.
There's professional hitters through and through. And especially that Edgar Martinez. What a nice man, too. You couldn't dislike him. I tried to. Boy, what a nice fellow.
Valencia
Why
takes
wouldn't he be
outside
nice?
again.
He'd be nice to me. He must have hit 800 off us. So he should have been nice to me.
Now, instead of getting ahead of a batter in a key spot, Beckett has fallen behind Valencia 2-0.
Good time to be a hitter, and let's hope Danny doesn't try to do too much with this fastball and maybe just drive one right out there, the right central. That would work.
Beckett's 35th pitch of the inning. Outside again. And Beckett,
he's staring now.
And Beckett, couldn't read his lips, but I saw they were moving after ball 3. And now he's pointing at the home plate umpire. And Shopik has got to run a little interference here, I think.
Well, he just hasn't called many pitches and made it. I'm for the umpire calling strikes and moving the game and making the hitter swing. And this has turned into just the opposite.
Got to take it.
I don't enjoy it as much as I would. Yeah, you have to take one here. Absolutely. Thank you.
And a strike, 3-1.
Okay, we need that one again now. Beckett sort of has to throw it. Let's see if who's the better man here. Danny can put the short swing on one and drive one to right field, right center field.
Tying run at second. 3-1 to Valencia. Bounced over the bag. Youkilis will fire across low. Dug out beautifully by Gonzalez. Gonzalez with a nice scoop at first. The Twins get one and leave the bases full.
Yankee threw him out.
Beckett yelling at home plate umpire Adrian Johnson. And Adrian Johnson in turn yelling at either Beckett and or Bobby Valentine. Valentine came out between innings to try to calm the waters a little bit between his field staff and the home plate umpire.
Let's get that behind us. And I just wish the umpires would call more strikes. And like I said earlier, move the game along. And let's get the hitters swinging the bat. And I think all the fans enjoy it more. And I know I do. I think everybody, most people do.
Sorry if you heard some profanity during the exchange there. Kelly Shopik takes a strike from Nick Blackburn. Now, Shopik is in the lineup because of his success, his history of success against Blackburn. 8 hits, 16 at bats, and 3 home runs. So it's not nice that he's up here in the second inning already, but at least the bases are empty. 1 and 2.
It took me like 8 weeks to get those kind of stats. And that's if I was hot.
Blackburn with some breaking pitches, getting ahead on the count now. 1 and 2.
I think we might have been instructed in the dugout there, maybe start using the breaking ball a little bit more and incorporate that pitch as well as the sinker and the little bit of the slider that he throws. There we go.
And now 2-2.
And I'm sure Blackie has reviewed the tapes and seen just what he's done with Shopik, and he says maybe I better change a few things up here against this fella, and so he's trying to make an adjustment as well.
2-2. Shopik, Aviles, and Sweeney will follow. High fly, deep right center field. Chased by Parmalee. Ball off the wall. It'll be Spann retrieving it, and Shopik continues to punish Nick Blackburn.
It's one of those plays in right field. You know, you either have to get back to the wall and make a jump for it, and the center fielder's going to back you up, or you just turn around and play it off the wall. It's probably going to be a double either way, but the pitch is almost where I think Blackie wanted to get it down and in. You see Chris a little bit indecisive, and I think if he had to do it over again, he might have went back and tried to catch that ball, and just a little bit indecisive about playing in the right field and left field in the, in the major league game. He hasn't been out there that much, and the more he plays, the better he'll get. But again, I'm sure he wishes he could have done that one over again.
Bunted on one hop to Bauer, a sacrifice, pushing Shopik to third base. Roy Smalley down on field level. And what are your keys for a Twins win here tonight?
Well, pretty simple tonight, guys. And I think TK would agree with me. We need a real solid start out of Nick Blackburn. Twins have only had 3 quality starts in this beginning of the season. He had a little bit of a shaky start here, but if he can right himself, he's pitched well against the Red Sox in the past. We're hoping he can right himself and give the club a chance to win.
AMC keys to the game on a first pitch breaking ball for strike 1. Blackburn
All the
not
pitchers,
happy with the first
everybody was frustrated with the first inning. Fans, broadcasters. I think everybody's a little upset with that whole first inning and the way it developed, and certainly the way it ended. And
well, it took 40 minutes to play.
Yeah, that wasn't good. But you can see the Red Sox here. With Aviles went with the, I guess, a little sacrifice push bunt to advance the runner to third and give one of them 400 hitters a chance to drive the runner.
Sweeney takes a strike on the outside corner, 1-2.
And Gardy's responded by playing the infield in. I will say the shortstop and the second baseman are cheating just a step or two back. Being that Shopik is not the quickest runner, so give yourself a little bit more room to breathe, and you might be able to cut one a grounder off a little bit and keep it in the infield. You might keep the runner at third. So with Pedroia up next, I would anticipate that Shopik is over there, and he's going to make the ball go through the infield, or he will not try to score. So unless he hits some kind of real high hopper. But we haven't seen that many high hoppers hit in target field, Richard, I don't think, unless somebody hits one right down on top of the plate. But for the most part, the grounders have stayed fairly low and not bounced real high, and that's what Shopik would need here to go. So I think that Sweeney has to get it to the outfield. Yep.
Plouffe picks up the ground ball.
Excellent.
Flips to Mauer,
Nice
out number
pitch.
2. Fox Sports North and Best Buy support the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Greater Twin Cities. The Fox Sports North Girls and local college and pro athletes celebrated Boys and Girls Club members recently at the 8th Annual Kids in the City event. Find out how you can make a difference in the lives of club kids by visiting foxsportsnorth.com and click on the Fox Sports North Supports banner. 2 gone after the leadoff double. Shopik still at third, and here's Dustin Pedroia. Ball 1. Pedroia reached on a fielder's choice, pushed the ball to the right side. That seems to be the theme for most of these Boston hitters. Even the hits, most of them have come to the opposite field, including Shopik's double to lead off the second inning.
Yeah, they made that well known. That's what they were going to do. And there's a hanging breaking ball. Blackie's done a nice job this inning with that breaking ball and keeping it down. You saw where he kept Sweeney off balance, got the little dribbler, and didn't allow Shopik to score. Gardy gives the manager a little credit for playing the infield in there and trusting his pitcher to get the job done.
1-1 to Pedroia. popped up down the right field line. Should reach the seats. 1-2. The Twins, of course, coming out of spring training, were hopeful that Francisco Liriano would pitch effectively. He hasn't. They were hoping that Scott Baker would pitch. He hasn't. And then the situation surrounding Blackburn kind of threw the rotation in a bit of a scramble. What they need is some stability in the rotation and on a consistent basis some effective starting pitching. 1-2 to Pedroia. Bouncer to short. So the leadoff double does no damage. Nice job by Blackburn pitching out of a jam in the second.
Louis Cardinals. He is now a member of the Boston Red Sox, and I had a chance to catch up with Nick Punto this afternoon in the Red Sox clubhouse. Asked him about the impact that Tom Kelly had on him when he was a member of the Twins, and he was right away saying, Tom Kelly had a profound impact on the way I play the game. Mr. Kelly always talked about the details, the little things that make a difference, and paying attention to defense. And Nick Punto also referenced the fact that because of him being a utility player, Tom Kelly made him a better baseball player, and he's never forgotten the time he had there. He had a great time and loved TK's personality. We're getting some of that love right now throughout our game broadcasts.
He might be the only one. No, Nicky's a good guy. He said some nice things. I appreciate that. And he worked hard. He worked, the guy worked hard at his craft. His craft was, or is, to substitute, be ready to play all the infield positions, second, third, short. He does them all very, very well. And we've seen over the years some of the plays he can make are, we thought we saw some highlight reel plays last night. Yeah, he did that quite often, And I remember that one game in the playoffs where he threw the ball home on that bouncing ball over the pitcher's mound. That was big league.
That was, I think, game 163 against the Tigers. And
correct.
And
once that's correct. Yep. And now that's playing the game, Richard. That's playing. And I told him so. I said it's taken me all winter to say this to you, and for me that was a special type of play.
Harmony strikes out to start the second inning.
That's a good fastball by Beckett. He looks like he's got himself redirected again. He's a veteran pitcher. It's not the first time he's exploded on the mound and maybe screamed a little bit at an umpire or have an umpire scream back at him. So that's not going to bother this guy, and he's going to get after it. Just like Lester did last night. He came out for that extra inning out there yesterday, and as Gardy pointed out, and he got after it. He just got after it like a number one type pitcher does. And Beckett's in that same boat.
The challenge for the Twins here is to continue to make Beckett work. He threw 38 pitches, I think, in the first inning, and you've got a chance of getting him out of the game. A little roller to the right side, hit weakly to Pedroia. Plouffe retired, and that's out number 2 before Span comes up. This reminder, you can spend an upcoming weekend game in a suite at Target Field. Game day suites start at just $2,250, and they're available for several weekend dates in April and May. Available suites accommodate at least 16 guests, and many options come with food and beverage included. Target Field Suites, fantastic heated locations. If there's a chill in the air, call 800-33-TWINS or log on to www.twinsbaseball.com/groups for details. 2 quick outs here in the second, and now Span. Just one footnote on Punto. I always, and I've told Nick this, he's one of my favorite players on a number of levels. Just think in how many years he came out of spring training and he wasn't a starter. And one of the things I know you preach players when you were managing, and Gardenhire does too, be ready for your opportunity. When it comes, take advantage of it. And whether it was short, third base, or second base, there were 3 years the Twins made the playoffs, and Nick Punto was not the starting infielder at any of those positions, but he was at the end. Span with a hard ground ball. Nice backhanded play by Gonzalez, and on 9 pitches, Beckett has a much better second inning. Nick Blackburn will pitch through the middle of the Boston lineup here in the third inning. Adrian Gonzalez, who's flashed some leather at the Twins here tonight. And then David Ortiz and Kevin Youkilis.
Yeah, sure, a nice play to end that inning. That's the kind of ball I'm looking for Denard to start to hit. And sure enough, he blasts one down there. And Gonzalez picked it, so this didn't work out. Denard talked about his little mic'd up thing that Youkilis might rob him of a hit, and I think it was on the other side of the diamond, the guy that got him.
1 strike to Adrian Gonzalez and a swinging strike 2.
Just up, just the fastball up just enough where Adrian, being a left-hand hitter, probably much better low ball hitter than he is high ball hitter. Not that he can't, but he's a talented guy that certainly has gotten hits on high fastballs, but that's just high enough.
Missing inside, 1 and 2.
All 6 outs recorded by Mr. Blackburn have been via the grounder.
That's right. Yep.
That's a good sign.
Are you a big believer that the early innings for a sinker baller can be a little rough because they're too strong?
No, I shouldn't say no, but I would think you would. Tonight's is a little different circumstance because he's been off for almost 2 weeks, and There's a pitch up again, fastball up, trying to sneak it by or get that pop up out of Gonzalez. But you know, he's missed some time, and he's had 2 sessions, which are not the same as pitching in the ball game, as we all know. But the only way you're going to get better is to get back out there and get to work, get the rust off, and get going again. Another close pitch.
Blackburn thought he had strike 3, and he missed down and in. Ortiz on deck. That's down the left field line, but it'll turn left and land foul.
Just to finish, try to answer your question properly, Richard, is once you recognize you have this sinker ball pitcher, and he knows it, and the pitching coach, everybody knows it. So I would try to make sure he warmed up enough, or our pitching coach would make sure he's warmed up maybe a little bit extra, or if we see the ball is up in the zone during when we're finishing up our warm-ups, we'll maybe sit down for a minute and come back and throw 7, 8, 10 more, like you've getting that first inning out of the way type thing, and recognize when you have to do that. So you make adjustments as the pitching coaches and managers, but tonight's a little bit different situation. He's missed some time. It's just going to be a matter of time before he gets back in the groove that we all know Blackie Beck can get into. So he's just going to have to wait it out here and be patient with him.
Here's Ortiz. Before the at bat, Blackburn fogged the rosin bag. A little upset that he gave up a pair of leadoff doubles in the first and second inning. Now a leadoff walk in the third.
Might have combined that with a couple of pitches that looked fairly close to being strikes, and he didn't get the calls either. So
2-0.
Putting David in a good spot here. Let's see if David goes for that little swing to left field, or he tries to turn on one. I would suspect he'd try to turn on a 2-0 pitch and put a little bit more pizzazz to it and see if he can drive one in the gap.
Or,
yeah, I'm afraid of that.
A long one.
I wish I hadn't brought that up.
Yeah, a 2-run home run, and it's 5-1. So Ortiz, the hottest hitter in the league anyway, and then Blackburn fell behind him 2-0 and paid the price.
Yes, that's exactly no other way to sugarcoat that. It's you fall behind, you lay it in there, and good hitters, that's what they do. Yeah, there was no thinking about hitting that one to left field, was it?
Nope.
No. That's a good swing. Remember that ball he hit in Kansas City that one Sunday, after Saturday, Sunday, where it was an afternoon game? Mike, that reminded me of that one. Then he come up with a broken hamate, if you remember.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, sliding at home, wasn't it?
Yeah, but like 2 at-bats later, ended up, he says, I don't think I can swing, and he just had hit one 19 miles. I said, you're kidding me? And he said, no. And sure enough, he had a broken hamate. Unbelievable.
I remember one he hit at the Kingdome into the third deck, and he was up there. I think Ken Griffey Jr. and maybe Mo Vaughn, 1 or 2 others that hit one up there. 2-1 to Youkilis.
It's a good point you brought up, though, Richard, about Fenway Park and making him a complete hitter. I think that holds a lot of validity. Is that the correct word?
Yeah, it's good enough. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
Let's see if Black can get back on track now and hold them right here. Keep the boys in the game, give them a chance. As we know, the Twins have been fighting just about every game to get back in games.
Youkilis gets all tied up with his swing and strikes out.
That's that sinker down and in. And Kevin's just having a little bit of a rough go right now. And, we all know he's fighting a little bit of a groin injury, and that pitch is a ball right from the start. And he's doing the best he can up there to try to help his ball club, but obviously something bothering him, but he's certainly not doesn't look like the player we're accustomed to seeing.
Pulled foul by Cody Ross. Again, this is from my memory, which wasn't very good 20 years ago, and it's gotten worse since. But I believe Ross was the 5th right-handed batter to hit one to the opposite field here. Michael Kadire was the first. one of the first games played here. He had a little pop
right
fly down the right
yeah.
field line and just barely got it over the wall.
Memorable. I remember that one.
And then since then, Miguel Cabrera. Here's a deep drive to left field. Willingham on the track makes a catch out number 2. Jose Bautista, Casper Wells, and then last night Cody Ross.
We certainly didn't want to see that one at Fenway Park.
No. On Saturday, the Twins are home for a noon game against Kansas City, and XL Energy will be giving away an energy-efficient light bulb as fans leave Target Field. And some lucky fans will also win Twin season tickets courtesy of XL Energy. Tickets are available for next Saturday by calling 833-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com. You have those energy-efficient
Is that one of
light
those
bulbs.
$60 ones?
I don't think they're that expensive, but
they lowered the price after a couple days.
You turn the switch on and you have to wait a second for the room to get light. And I haven't gotten used to that yet.
We just opened the drapes.
Down and away. 2-0. Bird now 1 for 5 as a Red Sox player. They don't do much to separate the leagues anymore. We've got same umpires and all that. One thing they still do, though, when you go from one league to the other, your stats from the old league are flushed down the toilet.
Yep.
And that's a good thing if you're Marlon Bird.
Yeah. Getting a whole new, like a facelift, whole new start.
3 hits and 43 at bats. Yeah,
good for him. You know, we talk about opportunities. Matt Maloney in the pen for the Twins.
Fouled away, 3-2.
I think that hit our catcher. It seems okay. But you know, a guy like Marlon Bird, he's been a I don't know, workman type player. Is that fair?
Sure.
Blue collar guy that certainly put in his dues, and he certainly had a tough time with the Cubs to start the season, and now ends up over here with the Red Sox.
Rips a solid single to left. A 2-out hit here in the 3rd.
Yeah.
Red Sox don't have the outfield they hope to have in August and September. Jacoby Ellsbury with a bad shoulder injured that sliding into second base. Crawford had off-season surgery, and he's down an extended spring in Fort Myers trying to accelerate his rehab program.
Yeah, they're two pretty good players. Obviously, Crawford did not have the year that the Red Sox were hoping for, but he's a pretty exciting player. I know down there in Tampa, he was the real deal.
Well, here's Shopik, and Blackburn will try to retire him.
Need to work some magic here. We'll get a nice little grounder.
Shopik 9 for 17. His leadoff double did not result in a run in the 2nd inning. Blackburn did a nice job stranding him at 3rd. 69th pitch for Blackburn. And we were told he would have 80 to 85 pitches on his limit for tonight's game. The hope was, of course, he'd be able to complete 5-6 innings with that, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case.
I think, I don't know, I personally, this is my own opinion, but I think Maloney, who is warming up in the pen, could be a guy that could be. We looked him up in the book yesterday, remember, in our media guide, and realized that he's been pretty much a starting pitcher his whole career, and now he's done a nice job in the bullpen. But I think he's probably one of them guys you would target as being a guy that maybe you would want to stretch out some and get some innings in and some pitch counts up and become a little bit more of an option to pick up the slack just in case, you know, whatever happens with Liriano, and we go on from there. But I think he's just one of them guys that the Twins may look at to be a starter and maybe pick up the slack for maybe a time or two through the rotation until Francisco gets straightened out a little bit.
1-2 to Shopik. And Blackburn strikes him out this time, but 2 more runs for the Red Sox. A leadoff walk backed up by a long home run by David Ortiz. is brought to you by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for the everyday competitor in all of us. By CenturyLink. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. And you can go to foxsportsnorth.com. That's my best circle. But I'm doing what I can here while I have the opportunity. Go to the foxsportsnorth.com. Click on Circle Me Bert to submit an email on why your sign should be circled in an upcoming home game and have a chance to visit us in the broadcast booth. 2 of the sections will be revealed the morning before each game. One will be listed on foxsportsnorth.com and the other on KFAN.com. Tom Kelly sitting in for Bert Blyleven, who's home in Florida playing golf, watching Twins baseball on TV. Hi, Bert.
What's up, Junior?
And a strike to Carroll. Why? You know, I've heard that since 1985.
He got called that. There's a couple of veteran players back in, I don't know if you want to bring up 1975, which was a long time ago, that called Bert Jr. And I think Rod Carew was one. And I just started calling him Junior.
Okay.
I don't know. He seemed to like it, so I kept it going. It's been a long time, so.
I remember one of the awards.
Go back a long way.
Right, one of the award ceremonies, either after the American League Championship Series with Detroit or after the World Series, and welcoming him up on stage, and you called him Junior. Up and in.
Sure I did.
Carroll.
It's like I call you Richard.
That's right. That's right. 2 and 2.
Herbeck's Kent or Kenny.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's see if we can get some base runners. That would be the best thing that could happen.
Carroll dribbles one to the right side. Pedroia has an easy play. 1 down. Twins loaded up the bases. Got a run in on a bases loaded walk, but of course we're stymied by Beckett. Couldn't get that big hit. Mauer walked in that first inning, and the Twins haven't had a base runner since.
Beckett started the inning off against Carroll with a real good fastball, 92 miles per hour, and got ahead in the count and went to work from there. Got Jamie to chase a little bit up in the zone. That 89 mile per hour cutter, that's hard to handle.
38 pitches in the first inning, and he's gotten 4 outs since on just 15 pitches.
Let's see if we can get Joseph on here with a line drive of some sort to get the inning jump started for us. Speaking of Kenny,
Mr. Herbeck is
Kent
looking over both of our shoulders as we speak. Outside to Mauer, 2-0.
I hope Kenny would come on a second with us.
We'll try to make that happen.
Number 14 in your program, number 1 in your heart. He can slip and slide from either side.
Jeez.
How about that dive in the third in St. Petersburg that day? Let's talk about that.
That was the day you traded.
Paul Sorrento.
Paul Sorrento's traded away to
Paul
Cleveland.
Sorrento.
I knew I could make it. I knew I could make it.
He was only out by 18 feet, and then makes a swan dive into third, and there goes the shoulder. How you doing? How do you like me now?
I didn't make the first out at third, did I? I think it was only the second out.
You're lucky we can laugh about it now.
Yeah.
Mauer got a pitch up, fouled it back, 2-2.
Nice swing. It's really a nice swing by Joe.
Well, Kent, since you're here and since we've had the opportunity to hear Tom speak, you had your number retired a long time ago. And now this year Tom's going to get his number retired. Your thoughts about him joining the retired number club?
That's pretty awesome. I think Tom's going to be pretty humbled when the day shows up.
Easy.
That's pretty impressive day.
Let's watch Mauer hit.
I'll watch him hit because you said he had a pretty good swing. I've never seen him take a bad one. There you go.
It's the mound and skips into center field.
That's a diamond cutter.
That's a diamond cutter.
That's right.
Absolutely.
I learned that last year. I learned that many years ago, but I learned it last year. I was watching him in Chicago.
Reinvented the diamond cutter. Rejuvenated.
They won that game. I remember in Chicago because I hit about 5 or 6 diamond cutters out there.
Sure did.
We could use about 5 or 6 more of those right now.
That's for sure.
Josh Wellingham will hit. Quite an honor, though, for your former manager to have his number retired.
Yeah, that's why not? The guy managed just to a couple World Series championships, and I learned a lot about the game from TK. I mean, you learned a lot about from a lot of different coaches in the minor leagues and what have you. But and growing up in the game, but even at that major league level, you learn stuff. And it was fun to watch Tom manage because he always knew what was going to go on in the 7th, 8th inning when the first or second inning started, and that's what I always thought was cool about TK.
1 strike to Willingham. Big swing and a miss. 2 strikes.
I was bluffing.
Well, here's some.
Here's a.
Tom
How about you drop the Toki down? We never do that. That's one for Stelly. Stelly likes the Toki.
Toki. Never heard Toki.
The 2-out bunt. That doesn't
never heard that
any good.
Just a token bunt.
I've heard the ugly finder before.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
And Richard.
You don't like that one either.
This one driven
to the gap
in right center field. Cut off by Sweeney. Bauer to third. He'll be held. Willingham to second. And the Twins have a threat here in the third.
Kenny, I think that's what we need some of our right-handers to do right there. Just drive some of these.
Hit the ball the other way.
This ball's up a little bit in the zone, but Josh puts a real nice swing on it. It's that cutter he throws about 89, 88, 90 miles per hour. It just cuts. We need to drive some of those to right central, right field, and sort of like what the Red Sox did early in the game, hitting some balls the opposite way.
And hitting some balls hard the opposite way.
Absolutely. So trying to take away that sinker from Blackburn, and they did a good job of it. You have to tip the cap to them. They did a nice job of hitting.
Liner to the shortstop of Vilas, and the runners stay put. 2 down.
I think Justin hit that as good as he can.
No, it got in on him a little bit.
Broke his bat.
Well, the Twins got 1 run out of a great situation in the first inning. They're going to try to convert here in the third.
I'm sure did.
Got in on him just a little bit.
Absolutely. But Beckett's got that good fastball, 92, 93, and he throws that cutter so hard, and it cuts in on you a couple inches or so, and can make life tough on you. As a left-hand hitter, there's no question.
Opportunity for Doman to get a little payback here. This game may have swung in his first inning at bat. The Red Sox had 3 runs. Twins had 1 on the board. Beckett had walked 3 in a row, seemed very flustered and frustrated on the mound, but he came back and struck out Doman with the bases loaded, and then got Valencia to bounce out. And Doman has a chance here with a hit to the outfield to maybe drive a couple in. Here's a lazy fly ball, short center. Bird's got a hustle to come in, and he makes the tumbling catch. Got fooled by that pitch.
Thank Kenny.
Bauer and Willingham left the board, and our thanks to number 14, Ken Herbeck.
All right, thanks, guys.
Good
to see you. Good to see you, TK.
14 in the program.
Number 10 later on.
The game, text the word value followed by a space in the player's name. The short code 234-234. Mauer leading the balloting so far. We've got 6 innings to play. And if the Twins ever get a clutch hit, I'm guessing that player will probably get a lot of the votes. They've been struggling to get that clutch hit.
As we felt, Maloney's in the game as well.
Matt Maloney coming out of the pen. Nick Blackburn going 3 innings, giving up 5 earned runs on a total of 9 hits.
Yeah, it wasn't the outing that I think Blackie was looking for, or Rick Anderson, or Gardy, or Twins fans that struggled some. 71 pitches in 3 innings. That's certainly not Nick Blackburn like. So he'll be better next time, no question.
Up and away, ball 1. Happy to have Tara and Sean here up in the booth with us.
Absolutely.
The Circle Me Burt winners. And Tara's birthday is today, so a nice little birthday present. There's a foul back. 1-1.
That was fairly close, so be aware. Never let your guard down up here.
And very happy to have Tara and Sean up here in the booth. 1-1 the count.
Different view from up here.
Vilas takes outside.
It's a beautiful view. Just what we're seeing on the screen right now. And from sitting in the dugout all the years that I've sat in the dugout, and then you come up here, it's a different perspective, that's for sure.
Vilas with a swing and a miss. 2-2.
I would still trade the dugout view for this room.
Really?
Yeah.
Even in Cleveland, where they had the suite holders with the glass window between you and
well, you meet some interesting people.
Foul back. Still 2-2.
I met Massimino, the basketball coach.
Raleigh Massimino, really?
He was at Villanova for a number of years, and he came over and banged on the window and hollered at me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was fun.
3-2. I wanted to ask you last night.
I don't know if I justified that with one name, but Raleigh is a good guy.
The game was close enough last night. We never really got around to it, but Pudge Rodriguez announced his retirement yesterday.
He got to know his son pretty well down in spring training, and Derek. And
deep to left field. Vilas, who started the game with a double. Now a sacrifice bunt and a long home run to left, and it's 6-1.
Wow. We were just trying to figure out why he dropped that sacrifice bunt down his last time up, after hitting the double to left center to start the game. And the Red Sox were hitting the ball fairly well throughout the course. He sort of gave us an out his last time up. We said thank you, but he certainly returned the favor by hitting a little breaking ball here, or cutter. We wish we could have hit one like that sometime along the way. Didn't happen.
Sweeney takes ball 1. Sweeney with an RBI single, drove in the first run of the game. His single right after the Aviles double in the first inning put the Red Sox in front. Now this one driven to the gap in left center field. Willingham chasing it. That'll hit the warning track, and Sweeney has a double.
Come on, Joe.
You're saying, come on, Joe, meaning...
I think he needs to trail back behind the runner a little bit. And that's one of those plays you have to read as a first baseman and understand if there was a man on first, per se, Dick, you certainly have to go over and be the cutoff man to home. But with nobody on, you sort of trail in behind. In case the guy makes a big turn, the runner makes a big turn, they may throw the ball back behind. And the right fielder needs to get over there and back up a little bit as well.
So a rough start for Maloney's evening. Long home run to left. Sweeney with an opposite field double. And here's Dustin Pedroia, 0 for 2 in the game. His Red Sox teammates have 10 hits already on the night.
Somebody's got to make the out, so it might well be this fellow here. So another grounder here would be what the doctor would order. Let's see if he can hit it to the shortstop or third baseman so he does not advance the runner.
Tapper, foul, 2 strikes.
He didn't seem too interested in hitting the ball to right field, did he?
No.
Swinging.
Two strikes. Maloney will deal to Pedroia. Gonzalez will follow, then Ortiz. Red Sox came into the series with a 5-game losing streak. They eked out a 1-run win last night. Grounded to Carroll. Backhanded play. And Mauer with a stretch at first, one away.
Good play. Yeah, that's a nice play by both guys. The shortstop, the backhand play by Jamie, and a good strong throw, and just took Joe to his right, but Joe did a nice job stretching for the ball.
Well, there you are in spring training around the first base bag.
I got a couple big shots over there, so I wasn't. The first thing that goes in your mind, don't hurt these guys. Whatever you do, do not hurt them. So you always have to be a little careful in what you do and don't do, but they're both, excellent workers, and they want to learn and do well. And one of the things that make it easier for you, Richard, is that you show them once, maybe twice, and they got it. They're very intelligent young people, and well, I call everybody young now, but they want to work, they want to do better, and they want to play the position with a little pizzazz.
Grounded up the middle. Gonzalez has a base hit. Sweeney will score easily, and the Red Sox have 2 more runs here in the 4th.
We talked about yesterday, Richard, the Red Sox are, even with their pitching woes that they've had, they're still very, very dangerous. So, and we found out the last 2 days they can certainly score some runs.
Fox Tracks brought to you by Window Concepts of Minnesota. Pitch in off the plate, but Gonzalez was waiting for it.
Professional hitter.
What made Saturday's game so memorable was the fact that the Red Sox bullpen gave up 15 runs, but Bobby Valentine's team still scored the first 9 runs of that game. They have a very good lineup. And David Ortiz is off to maybe his greatest start ever.
As you mentioned earlier, Richard, 2 guys in the lineup hitting over 400. You're going to score some runs.
Right.
There's no way around it.
1-0 to Ortiz. An RBI single in the first, and then Nick Blackburn fell behind him 2-0 in the third, and Ortiz hit the stuffing out of one. Bloof to Carroll, and Ortiz beats out the relay. So Ortiz hustling down the line.
It was a slow hit ball. It wasn't hit very hard. Trevor did a good job of getting it over there to Jamie as quickly as he possibly could. Jamie had to throw the ball a little bit off balance. You have to remember now where Trevor was playing when he caught this ball. He's on a dead run, running to his right and trying to get the ball over to the shortstop, but he's playing so deep, almost into right field.
Such a beautiful night here, but now it's starting to rain. 1 strike to Kevin Youkilis. And Youkilis gets his second hit of the night. A little pump back liner to left. Maloney's given up 4 hits here in his first inning.
I think that if another pitch that was up in the zone, we've seen at least 3-4 of these pitches from Maloney that have been up. That one's pretty much center cut, and Youkilis puts a good swing on it.
So 2 on, 2 out. And Cody Ross drove in a run with a ground ball, hit a little squibber up the line in the first inning, then hit a fly ball to left. Ball 1.
Another dangerous hitter. It's proven to be for the Red Sox. That certainly has got his share of RBIs early in the season and home runs. And hit down in the bottom of the lineup.
Big swing and a miss.
That's a big swing.
$14 strikes, but 4 of them have been touched for bases or base hits.
Matt needs to just get the ball down a touch. He's just up in his zone a little bit too much. He needs to get the ball down.
And time call wasn't granted, and the pitch is taken up high. Ross asked for time.
What,
he
was
didn't
that high?
get it. And the pitch called high, I guess. 2-1.
Wow. Well, this is what we talked about earlier in the game, where in the first inning, where not many strikes were called, and now it's starting to rain, and it still hasn't affected the umpire. He's still going to stay with the.
Oh, that got Doman on the bare hand.
Ow. It's not pleasant. That just hurts. That's all. It just hurts. Mr. Domit's going to stay right in the ball game because he is a tough guy. And if you ask him, he says, yeah, it hurts, but I'm going to stay out here.
Domit leaving that hand exposed.
You know, he's probably in no danger of people running here, especially with the score the way it is and the way the Red Sox are hitting the ball. And certainly Ortiz and Youkilis are not going anywhere. So there is a case to be made for maybe getting that hand behind you some.
And Ross strikes out, spikes the helmet. And the Red Sox had 2 more runs in the 4th.
Some of that fixed about being not so antsy inside conscious that you're better on the outside part of the plate. We just got to turn up the volume a little bit.
Yeah, Joe Vavra, you know, trying to explain to Danny what's happening in the game and how they're pitching him and what they're doing to him to get him out and giving him some options or avenues to try or go down and add a little bit different avenue or street to allow yourself a little bit better opportunity to drive some balls and put them in play and get you a few more hits. So I know in this case Joe would like to get Danny to drive some balls to right center and open up the field a little bit more and give himself a little bit better chance to get some hits and get on base and score some runs.
Second time that Valencia's bounced out to Youkilis. In the first inning, he came up with the bases loaded and 2 out. One of those big outs that Beckett got early. That now has allowed him to be throwing pitches now with a 7-1 lead. Here's Parmalee, went down swinging his first time up. Lifted foul over the tarp and out of play.
That was a good swing by Chris. He's a young man, and I just implore everybody to remember this young man skipped AAA baseball. So he's made the jump from AA to the big leagues last year, and he's earned his stripes per se. Had a real nice spring training. He's trying to play the outfield, first base. So it's not just one thing here. I mean, Chris has been asked to play with some people being sick and having 13 pitchers, asked to play and do a few more things, and maybe I'm sure Gardy would like, and maybe just settle them in a little bit better. But out of necessity, you know, you're forced to do a few things, and you have to do them. And as a player, you relish that opportunity or that chance anytime you can get out on the ball field, especially in Major League field, and get a chance to perform. So Chris is in that boat, and I know he's going to accept that challenge. There's no question.
Sky to center. And Marlon Byrd finally camps under it, out number 2.
Okay, we need some help on the trivia here, Richard.
All right.
We got guests here. We kept the guests here just to.
Well, here's an obscure question. Prior to last night, who was the last Red Sox player to hit game-tying and game-winning home runs in the 7th inning or later? Could be Ted Williams. It could be David Ortiz.
How about Fred Lynn or people like that?
Sure.
Would Dwight Evans get into that group? Dewey? Remember when Frankie Viola threw him like 12 straight changeups one game? He was cursing and screaming and stomping at the plate. Frankie kept throwing him changeups. Oh, he was a terrific player too. You talk about playing right field in Fenway Park. He could do it.
Bloof drives one to left center field toward the gap. Nice running catch by Bird on the warning track. He hauled it in, not far from where Bloof nearly hit the game-winning home run in the 9th last night.
York that got me thrown out.
I told him that he was a good guy.
No, what was it you told him? Something about, don't try to cheat me?
Something like that. It was something about that.
Something about cheating me. And then I got thrown out.
Yeah, don't cheat. Kids don't cheat.
I was protecting you about cheating.
You know what? And I really appreciate that.
You're very welcome.
I appreciate he had my back, man.
That's nice enough to wear a microphone for us during batting practice. Getting some, I think, good-natured ribbing from the manager who had to pay a fine because Denard Span got tossed and the manager got tossed.
Well, Gardy had to do what he had to do to protect his players some. But, you know, the pitch that was probably on the inside part of the, it was a ball, right, Richard? It was a little bit inside.
Yep.
But I don't know about getting thrown out of the game.
Leadoff single for Bird. He's gotten 3 hits in his first 2 games with the Red Sox. You can ask a question online at carsoup.com/baseball. Robert Wyndon of Onamia asking that when a manager is thrown out of a game, is he still involved with the decisions in the rest of the game? Now,
well,
you are not the best guy to ask because you were ejected in your great career, what, twice?
5 or 6.
5 or 6.
Okay. Something like that. Yes and no. Some managers will sit right at the out of sight from the umpires where it can't be seen and sort of holler and say, well, let's bunt here, or let's move along, or hit and run, or do something, or get a pitcher going. And some will let the coaching staff take over and run the rest of the game. So and they're very capable. Guys are very capable. So it's done both ways.
I can't imagine you wearing funny nose and glasses.
No,
Mr. Valentine.
There's a point in my mind, in my opinion, that you respect the game, and for me, I never tried to do anything to disrespect the game of baseball or the umpires or a player or colleagues and that sort of thing. So, but to each his own. Everybody has their own way of doing things, and that's just the way it is. So some people just like to go about their business a little differently, so, which is fine. It's none of my business.
2-1 to shop it. Lifted down the right field line, and Parmalee will chase it, but it's back into the seats. 2-2.
I think these are real important innings. I know the score is 7-1, and we're not doing too well, and we don't have a real good flow to the game for the Twins fans, or but these moments here are important for guys like Maloney, trying to establish himself on a big league team, a big league, either whether it's in the bullpen or as a starter, and he's just trying to show Gardy and Rick Anderson that he's capable. And so these are, very important innings for him.
Neither he nor Nick Blackburn able to retire a leadoff batter in the ball game.
It hasn't been good. We certainly haven't pitched up to our capabilities at all. And it's well documented now that we all know Blackie missed time, and he might be a little rusty. He's going to have to shake some of that off, and that certainly was the case. And he's going to be better for the outing and better next time. There's no question. But we're dealing with what we're dealing with right now, and that's Maloney, and he's getting an opportunity to pitch. And he got a nice strikeout there.
One gone, Bird still at first, and that'll bring up Mike Aviles,
who's having a real good night, and we're going to forget that bunt he laid down. But to drive the ball, like he did to left center field to start the game, and then pop one over the wall later on in his third at bat. He's having a good night for himself.
To left, Willingham will chase this one, and it gets wedged under the padding in left center field. Another run will score. Aviles has his third extra base hit.
We saw another pitch up in the zone here from Maloney, and I'm sure he's not happy with where he's locating his pitches. He threw some nice pitches to Shoppik, got the ball down, used the breaking ball, but certainly this pitch is, I think, straight and up in the zone, and it pretty much gives Aviles a free swing at it. Funny game of baseball. You hit the wall, it's supposed to bounce back at you. Yeah. And that one stayed right, like you said, almost got wedged in underneath the padding on the wall and the warning track out there.
Here's Sweeney hitting at .417 now. 2 for 3 night going.
He keeps going like this. He won't know how to act. We'll be comparing him to the splendid Splinter there in Red Sox Nation.
Swing miss, 2 strikes.
The old equalizer there, Richard, the breaking ball. It's a nice pitch. The ball down and away. Is it all right if I say hello to my brother who's watching on the internet tonight?
Yeah.
I mailed him a media guide. He called and told me he got the media guide, and he watched the game last night. He wasn't happy with the result, but nobody was.
Well, what did your brother think of your broadcasting last night?
Yeah, he knew that, and he was concerned about I was going to give it another go. Being at his old, I didn't think it was such a good idea. I don't believe maybe I should get back up here again. He's not much on losing.
Okay. Dustin Pedroia is 0 for 3. He's hit 3 balls on the ground here tonight, and he takes ball 1. At what point, either on the good side of the ledger, bad side of the ledger, were you aware of what type of team you had in any given season?
Well,
we're going to have to get this answer later, I think, because this ball is going to be caught.
Wow.
It's off the scoreboard. Pedroia has a double, and Aviles scores, and it's another 2-run inning. I thought that ball was going to settle on the warning track.
I did too, Richard. I thought Denard had it all lined up, and lo and behold, it hits the scoreboard. I'm dumbfounded to think that the ball went that far. I know we had a little bit of a rain came through and maybe changed the wind some, but This pitch is up and out over the plate. There was no pulling off this one like he had the previous at bats, and he drove this ball nicely to right field, right center field. You know, just what Joe Vavra was talking about some with Danny and some of the other guys about driving the ball the other way and using the whole field.
And here's Gonzalez lashing one to the gap, and that'll run all the way to the wall. Pedroia will score. It's the 4th hit this inning against Maloney, and the Red Sox have at least three more runs.
Matt's just left too many balls up in his zone, and it's certainly not one of his better outings. And we've seen him have some real good outings so far this early part of the season, and he's just leaving too many up in the zone, and he'd be the first one to tell you that he's certainly not on top of his game tonight.
Ortiz will hit. All right, back to the question.
Yeah. You have a pretty good idea. The general manager will sit down with you before you start and say, well, you know, let's do the best we can, and we're not, you know, doing as good as we possibly think we could be doing, and maybe in September we might do a little bit better, and blah blah blah. Let's stay with it. And, you know, you might win 70 games, 75 games. So, and that's what you need to have that kind of general manager to be honest and realize just where you stand.
MLB Network. Good seats available for tomorrow's game. You can check out pricing at twinsbaseball.com. Call 800-33-TWINS. Twins getting doubled to death here. There have been a couple of home runs, but there have been 6 doubles. And as we were relating during the commercial break there, I mean, they've just plastered the ball all over Target Field tonight.
There's nothing cheap about any of these hits. Or, you know, this is really nitpicking, but Gonzalez rolled one through the infield early.
Yeah.
That's about it. Which they've had their hitting shoes on tonight, and we're certainly not pitching as up to our capabilities. We all know that. And we haven't gotten the ball down in the zone as good as we need to, and we're paying the price for it. Mr. Gray, see if he can right the ship a little bit and get the boys off the field.
Another short start for a Twin starter. Nick Blackburn going 3 innings and giving up 5 runs. Matt Maloney cuffed around for at least 5 runs and an inning and 2/3. And now David Ortiz facing Jeff Gray. And there's a strike.
It's 89. I think it's down on the outside part of the plate. Down. It's a nice pitch. Good start. Let's see if we can keep Mr. Gray going. He's had a couple days off, and he should be freshened up and ready to go.
And a called strike, and David Ortiz slumps his shoulder.
Yeah, if Adrian was going to get the right arm up on that one or not. And I don't blame David shaking his head. He's shaking his head like it's a ball, and it might be, but it's awfully close. And it's time here for Adrian to start calling a few strikes. Come on, let's go.
2 hours old, and we're in the top of the 5th.
That's not good.
1-2. Last night's home plate umpire, Fielding Culbreth, now manning third base.
Fielding didn't have any trouble calling them strikes. Remember in the start of the game? Oh my.
Yeah.
He was somewhat generous. Adrian just been the opposite.
Wow. And a breaking pitch down and in.
Slider.
Ortiz strikes out. The inning ends, but the Red Sox get 3 more runs they may not need.
Go 100 scratch-off tickets to these folks right here. And baby's first game, Kent, Heidi, and baby Gavin. And you can see, someone get this kid a hot dog. Gavin's chewing on Bert's sign, and we spelled it right tonight. Kent, obviously it's all your first games at Target Field. What's your favorite part of the ballpark?
Everything. This is a great place to watch baseball. It's awesome.
And not even the rain slowed that baby down.
No, he didn't care. He was hanging out.
Guys, a future baseball player out here, 6 months old, and enjoying the sights and sounds of Target Field.
Thank you. Kevin Span will run to second on a little bloop double. Aviles almost made a nice play. Span just a little flare into left field, and he'll stand at second with a leadoff double. See Aviles.
Aviles had it, and he just dropped. It's a hard play for an infielder. Obviously back to home plate, and see Denarch hesitate just for a second, and when it dropped in and kicked away is that when he elected to go for second, and obviously he made it. But again, a real good try by Aviles. He just come up a little short.
Down and away, ball 1.
Beckett has really picked it up, Richard. 8 pitches last inning? Started off the game very poorly, and after 4 innings, got his pitch count. It's at 70, but he was in danger of really imploding early, and he got saved by the first inning by the umpires. Could have probably gave him the heave-ho, but they elected not to.
Up and in, 2-0. There were some key at-bats in the first inning, to be sure, but then also in the third. The score was 5-1 at the time. The Twins had a 1-out single and a double, second and third, nobody out. But again, situational hitting has not been good for the Twins in the opening weeks. Back to Beckett, and now Span is hung out to dry. And he will stay in the rundown long enough to allow Carroll to get to second base.
Carroll's going to be. This might be 2 outs.
No.
What did he do? Carroll was on the base.
He put his foot on and just left it there and didn't come off the base. Span retired.
Right. It was a good play by Beckett here. He catch, and obviously it's an easy grounder to catch. Denard makes a base running mistake. You have to make sure the ball goes by the pitcher. Beckett probably gave it up to the. That was Pedroia coming across. He was coming across and took the throw from Beckett. They got the rundown done. It wasn't pretty, but they got it done. But Denard obviously making a base running mistake. Almost the same idea what Sweeney did last night for the Red Sox.
And of course, in this case, the Twins down by 9 runs.
It's not good.
Here's Mauer, and he takes a strike. And within that, a little bit of a instructional for
not
base,
how to do the rundown.
Well, base runners, but
yeah.
in Carroll's case, get to second base and just stand there. Euchel has tagged everybody, including the second base umpire. But if that runner, Carroll, stays on the base, there's only one out. Every once in a while, you'll see some confusion, and the trailing runner will take his foot off the bag, and then it does become a double out.
I think also watching Beckett, the way he handled himself, he went around and pushed the base runner, Denard, back towards second. That's exactly what you want your pitcher to do. So, he handled that very well.
2 strikes to Mauer, a pair of hits, a walk and a base hit for Mauer on the night. Foul back. The surprising Baltimore Orioles won a ball game against another surprising ball club, at least in the minds of some, the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, the Orioles have some pretty good starting pitching, and if those guys respond on a daily basis, they're going to be in games with a chance to win. Anytime you see the Blue Jays with only 5 hits, you have to be pitching pretty good.
2 strikes to Mauer. Foul away. Tampa Bay beat the Angels 5-0, so I guess it's safe to assume Albert Pujols did not hit a home run tonight either. So they didn't get a run.
No, it just doesn't work that way. And they at least had one up there. Yeah. 5-0. That's a nice night, Probably about 2 hours and 20 minutes. Perfect. You don't have to sweat. Sit there and relax.
Two strikes again to Mauer. And a bouncer, foul.
Breaking ball from Beckett, about 78 miles per hour. He's thrown Joe the 92 mile per hour fastball. He's thrown the 78 mile per hour curveball. He's using them all against one of the better hitters in the obviously in Major League Baseball.
Angels fall to 6-11. It's not just Albert Pujols that doesn't have a home run. Torrey Hunter doesn't have a home run yet.
I'm not saying anybody's. The Angels are obviously a very good team, and they're going to be tough as we go along here, and they have too much starting pitching.
Drive to left center, slicing away from Bird, but he tracks it down. And that's out number 2. Go back to our AT&T trivia question. Again, pretty obscure. I think.
How many answers did I give?
Well, you're allowed 3 or 4 anyway. I'm going to go David Ortiz.
Okay. Fred Wynn?
Hey, you mentioned Dewey Evans.
We mentioned them all. We mentioned the whole Red Sox.
You didn't mention Yastrzemski, but or Ted Williams or Jimmy Fox or any of those guys, but
Bobby Doerr.
Yeah. There's Josh Willingham.
Johnny Pesky. Pesky's pole.
Red Sox, of course, on Friday had a 100th birthday celebration of Fenway Park.
Did you get a book? A picture book?
I didn't get a picture book. I did watch it on television, and
I got a picture book in the mail.
You did?
Yeah.
This one popped up, and Shopping might have room. Nope. Out of play.
I think the Red Sox felt a little bad. As much as they beat us up there in Fenway Park, they decided to at least send me a book. Relive some of that.
Well, one of the highlights of the 91 season, though, I mentioned it the other day, was when your team in 91, I think right after the All-Star break, went to Fenway and swept a 4-game series.
Dangerous. Yeah, I thought you were going to go to the double plays where the triple plays.
Yeah.
Excuse me, we lost that game. Turn 2 triple plays and lose. That's not good.
Down in the dirt. But I guess, when I asked you the question, when do you know what kind of team you've gotten? As someone who sat upstairs and watched that 91 team, that's the series that convinced me you guys were in position to really make a statement in October.
Well, you never know what some other teams are going to do. You might think you're going to win 90 or 92, 94 type, and that's everybody stays healthy. There's so many variables that can occur. And so they're sort of hard things to predict.
Willingham strokes it, but foul.
It's that fastball that's up and in, and Josh has certainly turned on that one. Contrary to the one he hit to right center the time before, where the breaking ball or that cutter was out away from him. Beckett elects to go inside, and Josh was ready for it. Boom. It's a good swing.
One and 2 to Willingham. Down the line. That's a fair ball. Carroll will come around third and score. And the throw to second, not in time. Willingham has an RBI double, his second extra base hit of the game.
It's dangerous when, you drive one to right center and then drive one down the left field line or third base line. That's when you're seeing the ball well and reacting to the pitches that are thrown to you. And Josh is just a hot hitter right now, and we got to hope it continues.
And he'll be missing for a couple of games with a family situation, the birth of a child.
Pick up the slack for that fella. He's been #1.
Here's Morneau, a bases loaded walk and a liner to short. Here's a drive to left field and fielded by Ross, and that ends the inning. A pair of doubles in the 5th. The Twins get a run. It's 10-2.
In unison, J.J. Barea joins us, and obviously you guys are big sports fans. And I got to ask you, you're watching a pretty cool baseball game from a very cool spot up here down the left field line. More exciting play in sports, the alley-oop from a guard like yourself to a big man like Peck in the middle, or a home run?
Well, I got to go with the alley-oop, especially from Ricky to Kevin Love, something like that.
Now, obviously, it's your first year in Minnesota. You won a championship last year in Dallas. How much have you enjoyed playing with these new teammates of yours, and what are you looking forward to when you guys are healthy next year?
Oh, it's been fun. I like it here. It's my first time here in the baseball game, too, so it's fun. The people are super nice. I love the fans. And, yeah, we got a good young team, and hopefully next year we'll make the playoffs.
Well, thanks for your time, and enjoy the rest of the ball game.
Thank you.
And fans, don't forget the Wolves play their final game this week on Thursday night, and Kevin Love, who's out here enjoying the Twins game tonight, will join us for the entire second quarter. Timberwolves have been a great watch all season. Guys like Ricky Rubio, Kevin Love, and the rest up here enjoying the ball game tonight. Dick?
All right. Thank you, Kevin Gore. Kevin Love will contribute to the broadcast on Thursday. The Twins have an off day on Thursday. Rubio there, Kevin Love. This is Kevin Youkilis with a 2-1 count. Fly ball, right center field, chased by Parmalee and Span. Parmalee with a catch, and that's the first out of the 6th inning.
The ball's starting to carry a little bit better to the outfield, Richard. That ball went a long way as well. Not that Youkilis is not capable of driving the ball. We all know he can, but I thought that ball carried fairly well.
Here's Cody Ross. He hit one out to the opposite field in the 9th inning last night. Pulled one down the line for a home run earlier, but tonight is 0 for 3 with a run batted in. Foul back.
Nice pitch by Mr. Graves. Start a little breaking ball down on the outside. Good hard sliders, cutter, whatever you want to call it. It's a nice pitch.
Twins, of course, carrying 13 pitchers. For most of your managerial career, I think you probably maxed out at 11, didn't you?
Well, I think there was times where we might have got to 12, but not often, not very often. You're probably correct with that 11. And I'm sure there was a time we might have snuck one in there at a necessity. But I remember a day-night doubleheader in Boston. You know, the only thing they did nice for us was feed us in between. But I think that one of those stretches there, we might have added another pitcher.
The Twins have said that they'd like to get back to 12 pitchers, but they needed to A, see Nick Blackburn pitch, and then B, see how he felt when he reported to the ballpark tomorrow. The problem is he only lasted 3 innings, and it's another short start, which would support the argument that you got to have 13 pitchers, because the starts have not gone on a consistent basis 6 innings or more.
Yeah, I can't sum it up any better than that. You're absolutely right. The starters have to get into the game in a more better fashion than they have been recently. We need more innings out of our starters, and we have to take the heat off the bullpen. I don't care if you have 10, 11, 12, 13 down there. Too much work is too much work, and that's what's going to happen. And what happens now, I don't want to belabor this, but dominoes begin to fall, and somebody's going to come up a little sore out there, and then you're going to have to replace him with a minor league pitcher and bring him up. And if something else, you put somebody in a different spot because this other guy got hurt, and it's like a domino thing, and it keeps falling on you, and before you know it, you got disarray out there. So you got to be careful that you don't beat the people up out there.
Carroll, a nice play, and Gray has a 1-2-3 6th inning.
Field first pitch at 7:10 p.m., but we're live on the air beginning at 6:30. Once the game gets underway, there is the chance for a stray shower. Otherwise, partly cloudy and still mild. First pitch temperature near 70.
Well, the CenturyLink high-speed pitch. Josh Beckett at 94. Nick Blackburn got there, but Beckett is still on the mound, and Blackburn left after 3.
Beckett's kept his pitch count down to 85 after 5 innings, which isn't anything to jump up and down about, but he survived a shaky first inning and has done a pretty good job since. Pretty, not great, pretty good.
Ryan Doman will lead off the 6th, and be followed by Valencia and Parmo. Up and away, 2-0. Beckett threw 38 pitches to get through the first inning. He's gotten through the next 4 and some change on just 50 more pitches. A strike. That second inning, when the Twins were hoping to clog up the bases again, and Beckett got through it with 9, and he really hasn't been challenged since.
Correct.
Swing and a miss by Doman. 2-2.
Certainly not any performance he's going to go home and call home and say I pitched great tonight, but he survived, and he's a talented guy, and he knows how to get the job done. He's been in tough spots before and has survived. So he's got a lot of experience, a lot of know-how, World Series kind of pitcher.
Doman taps one foul. Kansas City Royals lost again in Cleveland, 4-3. 12 straight losses for the Royals, including an 0-10 homestand that they just completed yesterday.
I can't believe they're that bad, Richard. They're gonna bounce back, and I'm afraid somebody's going to pay the price when they do.
And Doman's called out on strikes for the first out of the 6th.
This is a tough pitch. I think it's a pitch you got to try to fight off and sort of protect the plate a little bit. The catcher wanted it in, and you see it just catches the upper portion of the strike zone and got called a strike. And it probably was.
Well, be careful what you wish for. We'll put it under that category. But let's imagine the Royals come in here and they lose 2 more in Cleveland. You were a part of that long Baltimore losing streak. The Twins, when the Orioles started the season, they went 0-20 or whatever, and you were towards
Senior was the manager.
Right, you were beating them towards the end of that streak. What was that experience like? I mean, you almost have.
It really wasn't fun at all. It seemed like, you know what I noticed, and I don't know if anybody would be someone, but I was interested in this. There was a couple close plays, and they went against the Orioles, and it was at our park.
Right.
And I just remember, and I thought it was awful what happened. And I'll try to explain it quickly. That the arguments now, Senior, which Cal Senior, he did all the argument, and none of the other coaches came down to help get the players out of there and eliminate the players from the argument. It was ugly stuff going on, and I was really disappointed in the other coaches, the first base coach, third base coach, by not getting in there and getting the players out of there, and then let Senior argue with the umpire. But you know, you had confusion going on. Players are screaming, and he's screaming, and the other coach is just standing there. I thought that was a sad situation. You know, people that, you know, you have to go back a ways to remember this, and some of the diehard fans that were in the Metrodome might remember some of this, because it was obvious, and I felt it was a shame. And Cal Senior is such a stoic, I think, almost one of the, I don't want to say iconic guys from the Orioles organization, a great teacher over there for many years. And I thought he deserved a little bit better than that, what he got from his staff. I was a little disappointed.
Parmalee checks his swing. It's a strike, 1-2.
I'll never forget that. That wasn't pleasant. And it wasn't, you know, and of course we beat him up a little bit during that span of time. And maybe we were just fortunate to be in the right place at the right time type thing. And when you play somebody, you know, you get them when they're not playing so good. But But I thought some of the things that went on there during that time weren't very pretty at all.
Something like loss 16, 17, and 18 in a row were against the Twins. It was that late into that streak. Parmalee trying to get aboard here. He's 0 for 2. He struck out on the second, hit a fly ball to center in the fourth. Been a tough night for the Twins after losing a nail biter last night. They've gotten tonight. It's 10-2.
I'm just curious if Lexi's available to play tonight.
I asked Ron Gardenhire that. He said, yeah, he's available to play. I don't know that the.
I would like to see, and I'm sure Gardy's got in the back of his mind, that's a nice pitch.
3 strikeouts for Beckett in a 1-2-3-6. Short start for Nick Blackburn.
Yeah, you know, not Blackie's best effort, and we've seen some good pitches and we've seen some not so good pitches and falling behind in the count. Sort of have to lay the ball in there and pay the price. But we all thought he'd probably be knocking the rust off, and because he missed some time, and this is the kind of thing that can happen. It's not the first time we've seen it. It won't be the last. So let's hope he's okay and he's ready to get his proper work in between, and he'd be ready to go for his next start. That's the important thing. You did a nice job with that circle stuff.
No, it's not the circling, it's clearing it. That's what I'm having a hard time with, you know. And I've been shortchanging Bird all these years because he does it effortlessly, and
he's got a lot of experience.
I'm here to tell you, it's not as easy as it looks.
This Mr. Gray out there to stem the tide, shall we say, and these are important innings for him as well. New guy to the staff, trying to get himself established into the bullpen and become somebody that Gardy and Rick can count on to get the job done for us and for them, and so each batter he gets to face is an important batter for him and in his development as a Minnesota Twin. So even though the score is out of hand and we're not doing well, we all know this, but it's important for some of our pitchers that are coming in and making impressions on the manager and the pitching coach.
Probably unfair to ask Gray to swallow up 4 1/3 innings here,
yes,
but to go as deep as he can would be important and give at least some of the relief pitchers a bit of a break in the hopes that they can be effective tomorrow, and then everybody gets a day off on Thursday.
Yeah, so I have to think that you know, I don't know, Perkins, does he need to pitch an inning today? Whether he'd be available to pitch, I'm sure he's available to pitch. You know, Gardy's going to do what he has to do to get through the 9 innings. These are things that managers have to do at times. You have to piece it together and use the people that that certainly maybe need to go out there and pitch an inning. But like you just pointed out, Richard, they've all got a lot of work already. So, but we'll see how Gardy and Rick decide to do it.
Shopik strikes out for the 3rd time tonight, and now Aviles will hit. He's hit an extra base hit 3 times tonight.
Yeah, he's had a good night. There's no question about it, amongst some others. But he's got an assortment of pitches to hit, and most of them have been up in the zone. And he's certainly known for his hitting and not his defense as much. And he's certainly getting the job done for the Red Sox tonight, especially batting in the leadoff spot and getting on base like he has and scoring some runs. And he's a very capable hitter, and that's his forte. He's getting an opportunity due to injury to play some shortstop, and he's making the most of it. These are the kind of things we talk about with players. You get certain opportunities. Marlon Byrd out there in center field certainly getting a second chance here to reestablish himself, and this fella here getting a chance to play shortstop on a regular basis. These are important games and at bats for certain individuals.
1-2 to Aviles. Red Sox got a 1st inning run last night, 3 1st inning runs tonight, and they really haven't looked back since. The Twins had a threat in the bottom of the 1st, but got just 1 run out of it. Half swing, and he went. And Gray has a strikeout for the 2nd out of the inning.
It's hard to imagine 10-2, and he's going to complain.
If you're hitting the road, you can take the Twins with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv today and see every Twins out-of-market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit twinsbaseball.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. Home territory blackout restrictions apply.
Those are the kind of things you saw the last at bat. Not to interrupt your promo, Richard, but Aviles complaining to the umpire. Obviously, it was a ball. I don't know if he said he swung or he didn't swing or what he called, but Aviles had a pretty good night, and for him to start complaining to the umpire, I think a little bit much.
Fox Tracks brought to you by Carrier, and now it's 1-1 to Sweeney.
I'm not quite sure if he called it on the swing or the pitch, but I wasn't obviously over the plate, and he might have swung at it, but I'm not sure what he did. And it doesn't matter.
Span glides back to make the catch, and Gray has another 1-2-3 inning. Your thirst. Get any size soft drink or sweet tea for just $1. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T. Rethink possible. It's been a good night for the Red Sox. Josh Beckett out of the game, and now Scott Atchison comes in to pitch to the Twins in the 7th.
Beckett, six innings, 5 hits. He did a good Houdini job after the first, escaping the first and getting through 6 innings. Wasn't a sterling performance, but he got the job done. Certainly rode the coattails of the hitters, that's without a doubt. And he did a good job with the lead, there's no question.
Trevor Plouffe leading things off in the 7th, and he takes strike 1.
Atchison, Richard?
Yeah.
Atchison, is that how you say it?
Yep.
He's right-handed. That's all we need to know.
In a 10-2 game, I suspect you're right.
Breaking ball. He's a sinker. He's got a sinker. He's got 4 pitches he can throw, and basically he's a veteran guy. He's been around the block, and he knows how to pitch a little bit, and he's a useful, serviceable guy for the Red Sox bullpen, and he's been there for the last couple of years now, and has done a good job.
There are Red Sox relievers with frightening numbers. That one game against the Yankees, a big contributor to that. Sure. But Atchison's done fine. 5 games, 9 2/3 innings. And,
he did fine last year, I thought, too. He represented himself well and held his own.
Blue flies to Sweeney. Josh Beckett had some erratic moments early on and some dangerous moments. But he settled down.
Yeah, like I said earlier, he's a veteran guy. He knows how to right the ship and get it going in the right direction. And after having a rough first inning, he rebounded. And as we saw there, he got a few plays made behind him. And he just knows how to pitch. He's one of them guys that, he can weather the storm and keep firing and come out and fire strikes and get the job done for you. So he just outpitched us a little bit tonight. And it's not the first time it's happened. Won't be the last. Beckett's going to win a lot of ball games in his career, and he's won a lot.
I think the guy who normally sits in that chair was one of those guys. You get a couple innings into a game, and you realize, you know what? If I just take care of my business here, I'm going to get a win.
That's right.
And it was pretty apparent to Beckett early on that his team was going to score him some runs.
Boy, he took off, and he pitched well with the lead. There's no question. And these guys, that's what they know how to do. They're experts at it, and once they get that kind of run support, they really become dangerous.
2-2 to Span. Sharp single in the first. Well hit ground ball for an out in the second. Then a little doink for a double in the 5th.
This is a little backdoor cutter type pitch that he tried to catch the outside corner with. The idea when they throw these backdoor pitches, or we call them backdoor, they try to get to the outside corner with breaking balls. It's to freeze the hitter. But the lefties especially, and obviously, and get them to quit on the pitch and maybe give up a little bit and see if they can get the strike call.
A different breaking ball, more of a drop, and Span hung with it, got a piece of it.
77 miles per hour. A la, not the same kind of curveball that Beckett threw. Beckett had more traditional breaking ball. That one looked a little bit more like the one. I'm certainly not comparing to Bert Blyleven, but straight 12-6 type.
Atchison gets a called third strike past Span, and that'll bring up Jamie Carroll.
This looks like a pretty good pitch. It stayed on the inside part, and we saw him work the outside part of the plate, then come back inside, and he froze our hitter.
Carroll scored both Twins runs in the first and again in the 5th, reaching on a fielder's choice. Hitless on the night, and he takes strike 1.
Sort of look for Burroughs to get a net bat somewhere along the line here as well.
High hopper over the mound. And Carroll retired. Good play by Aviles. And Atchison faces just 3 men in the inning.
You know, he's struggling a little bit. Kind of hurt his feelings a little bit. It's part of the game, man. I'm pretty sure he's going to ride me before the end of the season, so he might ride me tonight. So.
Again, our thanks to Denard Span for slipping on the microphone during batting practice. Youkilis really hasn't taken a hit away from him. Gonzalez might have in the second inning, but last night Span took a hit away from Kevin Youkilis.
Nice running catch, and the kind of play your center fielder needs to make, and he's got to want to make. You know, he's the captain out there, the man that takes charge and sort of runs the outfield, and definitely our speed guy out there, especially tonight with Josh and Chris in the outfield alongside him. So there's a lot of responsibility on the center fielder, and especially Denard tonight. So we expect him to make those kind of plays, and he's going to. There's no question about it.
Here's Pedroia leading off the 8th inning. Now, for most of your managerial career, you had center field patrolled by 2 of the game's best. Kirby Puckett, 6-time Gold Glove winner. And I think Hunter now has, 7 or 8 Gold Gloves. Most of them with the Twins.
Correct.
How would you contrast those 2 guys you had?
You know, we were really lucky up in the upper Midwest here to have Kirby and be able to jump and climb the fences the way he did and make plays. And Torrey followed suit. You know, Torrey, I think, could lay out, and dive a little bit more than Kirby did, and certainly was able to jump and catch balls and pull them back off the fence or up against the wall or over the fence. But I think Kirby was the one that I think really opened up all our eyes to watch a center fielder be able to leap the way he could and jump up against the plexiglass when it was there in left center, or go over the baggy, the short baggy, obviously, in center and right center. I think he got all that working for us, and Torrey just came right in on those coattails and followed up. And I think Torrey was maybe dove a little bit better than Kirby did, and made some terrific plays that way.
1 down in the 8th inning. The NFL draft is 2 days from now. Brian Hall's 2 weeks of daily Vikings preview coverage continues with a look at GM Rick Spielman's general approach in his first year as the man in charge. Spielman addressed the media today. Find out what he had to say at foxsportsnorth.com.
We should report to Alex Burnett is now in the game pitching, and pitch. I'm sure it's going to be a 1-inning type thing, and whoever Rick Anderson decides needs to pitch another inning or an inning or so will follow suit.
Gonzalez has had a real good day at the plate with 3 hits, 2 runs batted in, 2 runs scored. And
wow.
This is
that's a nice one.
Anderson, the backup. Anderson with a solid single to left.
We've seen Anderson, I believe it's Lars, correct?
Yep.
And we've seen him quite a bit in the minor leagues, especially down on field 1, 2, or 3 over the years, down in the minor league camp, playing against our AA and AAA guys along the way. And he's a dangerous hitter. He's a strong young man. Hit the ball over the fence, and he stroked that one nicely, I will say.
Ortiz with 3 runs batted in, and he takes a strike. One strike to Ortiz. When Nick Blackburn was in, he only walked 1, but he walked Gonzalez, and then he fell behind David Ortiz, and that set this up.
Yeah, 2-0, and we were afraid something like this could happen. As we saw the inning or 2 before, David just stroked it out to left field for a nice base hit, and then he got himself into position where he could do the turn and sort of dictate what was going to happen. And Blackie had a center one, and David did the same.
2-1. Three and 1. Nick Punto in the on-deck circle for the Red Sox. Ortiz will walk, and here's Punto coming to the plate.
Oh. He did a good job here. There's no question about it. He played, I thought he played terrific. You know, Nicky could have hit a few more balls on the ground or some line drives, a few more line drives. He got in that one bad streak where he hit a lot of balls up in the air.
Right.
You know, and he just couldn't stop it. I know he didn't want to do that. And he just couldn't correct it and just make too many flyouts, you know. And that's not his game. You know, his game's hitting it on the ground, bunt, hit and run, advance the runners that way, and some base hits, line drives here and there. But he just got caught up in too many fly balls. Obviously not that kind of guy where he's going to drive the ball out of the park. So suffered a little bit with the bat that way, but what a wonderful contributor with his speed and his defense, and you know, year after year would make play after play. So a lot of good memories about Nick Punto in a Twins uniform.
2-0 to Punto. Runners at first and second, one down. And he slaps one foul. Of course, won the World Series with the Cardinals last year. Had a lot of playing time. Didn't do particularly well at the plate. But, you know, when I look back and think back at his years with the Twins, and while he was in a Twins uniform, the best plays out in the field at second base, and the best plays I remember during that time period at short, and the best plays the Twins turned in at third base when Nick was involved in all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my memory. That's how my memory works.
Yeah.
I don't think that we saw a better second base.
Sure, I agree. He was
plays of the week or whatever.
Sure, he was certainly a highlight reel. There's no question.
3-1. And Burnett having a tough time with the bases loaded now and one out.
Yeah, I'm sure this is disappointing for Alex himself to misfire the way he has.
So Punto aboard, they're loaded up. Rasmussen College is proud to present Student Days every Wednesday at Target Field. Students can attend the Twins Red Sox game tomorrow night. Get a standing room only ticket for just $8. Student Day tickets are available beginning at 9 in the morning tomorrow. There's a limit of one ticket per student with a valid ID. For more information, visit twinsbaseball.com. Cody Ross is going to be pinch hit for by Darnell McDonald, another former Twin. Ross actually had gone 0 for 4 with an RBI.
Somebody's got to make the outs.
Well, Burnett's going to try to get 2 of them and 1 at bat here. There's a
nice breaking ball to start
for
off.
strike 1. And that seems to be the pitch that has helped his season along here this year.
Most pitchers throw the breaking ball with the bases loaded. They don't want people just tattooing that fastball, and they try to throw the breaking ball, especially with the bases loaded. You see it over and over.
Bounce to third. Burnett may get another ground ball double play here. Plouffe taken out at second base. And Gonzalez will score. That's the first earned run allowed by Burnett.
If we can,
Anderson scores.
You know, maybe if we get a chance, we can maybe show our viewers that are hanging with us here just what happened on the double play attempt there. You see Trevor, he's going to go behind or back. He's going to take the throw from Danny and step back. But he sort of had to go up a little bit. I think if Gardy or Trevor had an opportunity, he would have came across the base and try to come back to the inside. I hope I'm explaining it well enough.
So you're saying the throw was a little off
he's going to back. Yeah, well, it didn't help. But he's sort of going back to, taking a step back and going to the outfield side. And I think, I know for sure Gardy would have liked to have him probably come across. And maybe, he just couldn't get his feet in position to do that. But I know in the future, Gardy will talk to him about maybe coming across and throw that ball on the inside part.
I usually start with the tee up, and then when you start loosening up, you kind of want to work towards the lower part of the strike zone, because that's where those pitchers are trying to pitch you.
Last night, pitch down and away. He slashed it to left. Again, down around the knees.
Yeah. You know, you have to learn how to work for the ball. Work. We talked about it last night, and Joe's putting on a little clinic there for everybody to see and get to watch how a professional hitter goes about his business and learning to be better and keep working to learn how to hit the lower pitch. And it's very, very important that our younger fans out there try to work on just what Joe was doing and learn how to work to hit the baseball. And it's going to make them a better player, and they'll have some more fun when they play in their summer leagues that they play in, or whatever, high school, college, whatever it is. They'll be much better off for it.
Mauer's called out on strikes. Atchison has retired all 4 men he's faced. And that'll bring up Cleet Thomas. Willingham done. He walked and got a couple of doubles. So Thomas will hit. And Thomas has been in a bad strikeout rut. He struck out a dozen times in 21 at bats.
It's just one of them things. It's like he's just getting off the ball a little bit, Richard. He drove a few in his first game here for the Twins and knocked them out to right center pretty good. I believe he hit one, got caught, and then one went over the fence, and he might have got a little bit too brave about the pull thing, and right now he just can't get out of it. So we're trying to see if he can maybe drive one up the middle or left center and sort of stay in there and see the ball a little bit longer and just watch the ball go off the bat. He's probably getting his head out of there a little bit.
3-1.
That was a good take. If you notice how he took that pitch, he watched the ball all the way. I know it hit the ground and all that, and it was very low, but at least he watched the ball all the way into the catcher, and that's very important.
3-2.
That's the pitch that we were talking about during batting practice today. It was out away from him, and looked like he was pull, and really wasn't making too much of an adjustment. It was a little bit concerning for us, but that one was certainly out there again.
Fouled over the Boston dugout. When he's put the ball in play, he's 4 for 9.
Oh, he's talented. He can hit the ball. He's strong. We've certainly seen that already from him, and he's very capable. He's just in a little bit of a rut right now.
Another 3-2. And Thomas strikes out again, 2 down.
This pitch is just a little bit elevated up, and he's just a little bit long with his swing, and he just doesn't get the bat to it. They're going with the old shifteroo here on Justin with no men on, and
up by plenty.
Yeah.
Up high, ball 1. Now Morneau got the bases loaded walk in the first inning to drive in a run. He's actually hit the ball pretty good a couple of times on the line, and this one hit to the backhand side of
that's Mr. Anderson.
Who makes a nice play.
Looks just like Gonzalez.
Yep.
To the 9th inning. Stay with us after the game, though. We're going to break it all down on Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. The Twins had their opportunities against Josh Beckett early in this game. Let him off the hook, and the bats for Boston took over. We'll go inside the clubhouse and hear from Ron Gardenhire, and like we do every Twins broadcast, we'll take our experts onto the field to better teach you about the game of baseball. Roy Smalley tonight will teach you how to hit in situations that are key for you young baseball players out there. You won't want to miss it. Roy Smalley on the field, situational hitting. Twins are going to need a lot of situational hitting guys in the bottom of this inning if they're going to get back in this ball game.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that. And here's Kelly Shopik facing Alex Burnett. Swing and a miss. Now Shopik continued his one-man assault against Nick Blackburn, getting a double in the second, but since then he struck out 3 times swinging. Lee Thomas is in the game in left field.
The just, you know, it's interesting to think Burnett's there for another inning, and obviously Gardy and Andy want to iron a few things out with this young man, because we're going to need him in the long run. And he's got to, I think, you know, his numbers are decent this year, and he certainly pitched a little better than he did in the spring, but the spring wasn't very attractive at all.
Right.
In fact, it was ugly. So Alex has certainly not been sharp the last time or two that he's been out, but he's gotten away with it. And tonight looks like he's a little bit off, not on top of his game. You know, he's thrown, what, 24 pitches and 12 balls, 12 strikes. It's certainly not a good ratio, but he's very capable of getting the job done for us, but he has to right the ship, shall we say, a touch. And so I believe that's why we're getting this extra inning out of Alex.
Now, there were a few times in your managerial career things got out of hand. You had to put a position player out there.
Oh, no. That was dreadful. You're right. We had to do that.
That's a manager's nightmare, isn't
yeah,
it?
that's scary. You know, you get somebody hurt. Canseco, you remember Canseco hurt his arm and throwing the ball, and he wanted to pitch, and they let him pitch, and sure enough. And it's not a good situation when you have to do that. And we had to do it a time or two, but it's the only thing you don't want to do when you go to the ballpark each day. That's one thing you don't want to do, and of course occasionally you had to do it. And it's not a fun time.
Well,
you may think it's funny to watch the guy out there, but it's not.
Twice you recruited the guy in the booth next to us to pitch, Mr. Gladden.
It wasn't fun.
Well, Shopik just fouled one off the top of his left foot. Now that foul ball got him on the same leg, I think.
Twice. He got hit twice this inning. He hasn't hit the ball very well. He hit a couple flyouts. And he certainly got a double, and we'll take that away from him. But this one is sort of centered a little bit.
You saw the sympathetic expressions.
That's all the way down the knee.
You saw the sympathetic expressions of his teammates in the dugout. They're laughing and cackling like
really nobody cares. But you know, he's been back there the whole night. He's done a nice job with his pitchers, and so you give him credit that way. And, you know, he's got a few strikeouts
nearly
tonight. He's going to run it out, though.
He nearly bounced it off that front leg again. Look at the guys in the background as he fouled the ball off his ankle after fouling it off his foot a couple pitches before.
Ow.
And you can see Punto and Marlon Byrd laughing.
They're funny. Lester's laughing too.
So one down.
Come on, Alex. Get the boys off the field in the time to matter. You might want to take that microphone out of that dugout right now over there, because I'm sure Mr. Shopik doesn't have any kind words for anybody over there.
1-0 to Aviles.
Every now and then they do a little bit of swearing in the dugout.
Yeah.
Sort of like my golf swing. Every now and then I hit one halfway decent.
2-0 to the Boston shortstop.
3-0. Back-to-back walks cost Burnett his first earned run of the season in the 8th inning.
And this isn't good here. They could fall behind 3-0.
Matt Albers warming up in the Boston bullpen. There's a strike, 3-1.
Well, put the ball in play. Need to put it in play and give the players a chance to make a play.
Lace to left, and Aviles has been stinging the ball here tonight. A single this time. He's got 4 well-struck hits.
This copyrighted telecast, Richard, is presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Minnesota Twins, LLC.
Ryan Sweeney will hit. Sweeney's got a couple of hits tonight. And swinging a foul. Been an ugly night for the Twins. There haven't been many of these this year. Dustin Morse tweeted the fact that after tonight's game now, and being mindful there's just 18 games played, Twins bullpen will have pitched 60 innings.
That doesn't sound too good. You have to do the math.
And I did the math.
Okay.
And it's 3 1/3 innings, which sounds like a lot, and it's even more when you consider that, you know, for most of the road games there wasn't a bottom of the 9th. And so back to Burnett.
Good play. Come on.
And I got 1, but not 2.
I'm sure.
I think they got 1.
That was close.
Yep.
We got 1 at second because it wasn't the best throw. That's why we practice these fundamentals on a daily basis in Fort Myers, and you've watched it, Richard, and we certainly do them better than that.
Yep.
That certainly was not what we're looking for there. We're looking for a double play, and Alex did not throw that ball good to second at all. That's not a good play, and there's no sugarcoating it. It's not a good play.
Here's Pedroia, and Pedroia has a double in 5 trips. Should mention Dustin Morse of the Twins Media Relations Department passing that word along. Down in the dirt, 2-0. Earlier we showed you the Twins have done a better job of turning some double plays, yet that's one of the major issues for Ron Gardenhire this year. Not the ones that have been turned, but the ones like the last ground ball to the pitcher, the double plays that haven't been turned.
Yeah, I'm sort of a stickler for those little things like this. I think everybody knows that, so I don't want to harp on it, but that's just not a good play. I'm sorry, it's not a good play. I hope people are watching, and the young people that would certainly try to erase that from their memory. You deserve a double play on that ball, and Alex became his own worst enemy by not getting the job done. Could have been off the field. Now, thus, he has to throw. I don't know how many more pitches we're going to end up throwing, and he certainly, in my mind, doesn't need to throw any more pitches, but he's going to have to because he didn't make a play. Everybody gets to stand out in the field a little bit more.
Full count to Pedroia. Runner goes, the pitch tapped in front of Valencia. Pedroia hustling down the line, and Bauer kept the foot on the bag.
That way, Joe.
And that ends the 9th inning, a scoreless night for Boston.
at Target Field, the Red Sox in pretty good shape winning the series here tonight. Twins hoping to win the final game tomorrow night, but it's been pretty much all Boston tonight. Look at the game reset. Aviles with a good day at the plate. Blackburn struggled in his 3 innings.
Yep.
And that's pretty much all you need to know.
That's correct. We struggled pitching from the get-go, and if you don't pitch well, you're going to have a hard time, and we certainly had a hard time tonight.
Matt Albers will pitch tonight, and the first man he'll face is Sean Burroughs. First pitch rolled to second. I mean, it's Ryan Doman hitting now, and Burroughs will hit in Valencia's spot. I beg your pardon.
Correct.
So Doman retired on 1 pitch, and now Burroughs will hit.
Yeah. I commented to him this afternoon about his catching in between innings. I said that wasn't pretty. He says, I know, I'm not going to do it again. So I don't think we're going to see him behind the plate anymore. He's going to try to avoid that situation.
10 at bats for the Twins. 1 hit, a single, a walk. A couple of strikeouts. 4 pinch hit at bats. And he is 0 for 4 as a pinch hitter. So see if he can, as inconsequential as it might be, see if he can get his first pinch hit for the Twins here in this at bat. Inside, 1-1.
His pinch hitting in San Diego, I believe, was excellent. Better than good. So hasn't gotten on track yet here in that role. But Sean's a talented young guy, and certainly knows how to swing the bat.
And that's down the line. That'll be his first Twins pinch hit. And he's going to dig for 2. And he's safe.
Very nice.
A double with 1 out in the 9th, and Burroughs drops a pinch hit double down the line.
Rally caps? Anybody? Come on, rally caps. Nice swing by Sean, went down and got it. The left-hander's dream. Get the ball down and in a little bit. Just drop the bat head down on it and take your chances. And he lined one into right field and ended up getting a double.
Parmalee takes a ball.
Yeah, it's a little bit rewarding. Sorry to interrupt you, but it's a little rewarding. You sit there for 3 hours and you try to stay loose the best you can. You go in the cage and take some swings and try to be prepared. So if the manager does call your name, you can represent yourself. And Sean obviously did. He put a good swing on it.
Swing and a foul, and who knows, maybe tomorrow night in the 8th inning in a one-run situation, and he's got something positive to take out of this game.
Perfect.
Maybe nobody else on the team can take out of.
And we talked about earlier with some of the pitchers establish themselves as, I can get the job done for you, Gardy, here in the bullpen, and try and secure their position. And same with like a guy like Sean, who's going to try to battle and earn his at bats as he goes, and to be able to get a base hit here and there and represent himself and his team and be prepared to hit. It's very, very important.
2-1 to Parmalee. Now, what do you make of the fact that the Red Sox have 2 relief pitchers warming up here in this 9-run game?
I can't see who they are, and I'm trying to look.
Padilla and Thomas.
Thomas probably hasn't thrown in a few days. Morales certainly pitched last night. He doesn't need to throw. And who's the other one?
Padilla and Thomas.
Padilla pitched in that marathon thing with against the Yankees. That was Saturday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So it's 3 days. So he's just going to throw the ball a little bit.
McDonald with the catch.
Now each team has different programs they put their pitchers on, their bullpen guys on. And beginning of the year, you might want them to throw a little bit more and acclimate a little bit more. And as the season goes on, you get your innings built up, and of course you can start backing it off some. But I know what you're saying. It's 10-2. Just sit just sit down. Just sit down and be, probably the proper thing. But they're just getting a little worky.
Here's Plouffe, and there's a fastball at the knees.
I see Trevor. He's had some decent at bats tonight. I'd sure like to see him get a base hit and They drive Sean around from second, get an RBI for himself.
And another fastball at the knees.
And this Albert is a stocky type guy, strong looking. 94 on the fastball. There's nothing wrong with that. He slings it a little bit. It looks like it's almost like a heavy ball. You know, you've certainly heard Bird talk about that in the past games where pitchers throws that heavy ball.
Sky to left field.
It's another cutter. They're a popular pitch for the Red Sox.
And the Red Sox have won back-to-back games here at Target Field. The Twins homestand begins with a pair of losses. Anthony LaPanta. Twins had Josh Beckett on the ropes in the first inning. They let him off and never really threatened after that.
And the Red Sox extend their dominance of the Twins. They've now won 7 of the last 8 in this series and are 17-6 in the last 23 head-to-head meetings. We'll show you how they did it tonight. We'll look at Minnesota's missed opportunities. Roy Smalley will instruct you on situational hitting, and we'll hear from Gardy on Twins Live.